Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, we don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, we don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old.
DraftKings Casinos is the
Two
finest
dumb
thing I love.
Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 823 of the 823 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Welcome back. Great to see Tortilla on the board early today. Mike Tortilla says it's a good motherfucking morning to be a Steeler fan. What's up, Yinzers? And he follows that up by saying, I feel like I got an A on a project that I didn't do anything for. Kings in the North, that's right, baby. A lot of things. This is Victory Monday. This is as close to Victory Monday as you could get without the Steelers playing, guys. I do want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back to the show. Glad to be back here on this wonderful Monday morning, Mike. This is the beginning of the Cleveland Browns week for the Steelers. And boy, there's a lot to talk about from a week where we didn't have a football game. We're going to get into all that today. A lot of Steelers stuff, a lot of stuff around the NFL. Just it's going to be a good, eventful day today here on the show. Again, welcome back, everybody. Glad to see you. It is Victory Monday. The Steelers won the bye week. It's true. It is true. Mike, we're going to get into that so much more. But first, as we kind of open up the show today, I want to talk about something real quick here. I took the time last night to take a minute to listen to Derpy's review show.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to do me a favor. Track up the show from last night for Derpy's review show.
Yeah.
This was the show that's on between the end of the 4 o'clock games and the beginning of the 8:20 game. We've been doing this every Sunday evening. And I just found it a little funny. Now, let me lay it out for you. All right. Well, he created a song for the show, which is fine. I didn't mind it. It's all right. So what he does is he plays the song, as do we. Ours is about 2 minutes long. And I consider that kind of a long song. Well, Derpy has this song, and it's almost 4 minutes. It's almost 4 minutes. And once he gets to the end of the song, you hear him fumbling around and doing all the things that he does. He uhs and oohs and things are dropping, and then there's silent periods. And then he plays the song again. And this time he oohs and ahs and, mush mouths through the whole thing. So, Mike, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Start yesterday's show. We're just only going to be a couple minutes. We're going to get started. I swear to you, I just find this rather humorous, and I'd like to share it. Mike, started right around 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, mind you, as of right now, the song already played through. It's about a 3 minute and 45-minute song. It already played its entirety. Now go ahead and hit it at 3:45. Let's start there.
So at 3:45.
So you hear the song just ended, okay? So this is the beginning of the show. Derpy is, you figure right here he would start, okay? The song just played. Okay, so here's the song again.
Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, Yinzers? Love our new intro for Sunday night.
He goes on about the song for the first 8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the part where he usually would start talking.
Is my icon out there?
Who's he talking to? Is he talking to Aunt Peaches in the background?
Well, I don't know, but I do know this. Our song is 2 minutes, and I like it's long, but you know what? We're preparing for the show. When we're getting ready to rock, we're setting levels, we're getting things ready.
Yeah, I'm doing background shit I need to do for the show.
So for the first 4 minutes of the show, when the song was playing, I'm not sure what was going on.
This is great. This is like an insight into Derpy's mind.
Now, mind
Nothing
you,
going on.
The song literally, what did he say?
Nope.
Hello? Hello? He's there. He's back.
And the song, like I said, is literally going on for 4 minutes already. So this is the second time around. This is the second 4 minutes. People are waiting to hear what the hell happened for the games.
Okay, so my icon's not working.
My icon's not working.
That's weird.
Oh, it's weird.
Oh, this is great, man.
All right, we're just gonna go like this.
What's the timestamp right now?
Yeah, welcome everyone.
5:35. Now we were going for 2 minutes. What have you heard and learned in the last 2 minutes?
I've heard of pierogies and beer.
Now the new song isn't.
Welcome. I hope you enjoyed the new intro for the Sunday night Yinzers review. It's a brand new one. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, let's get to business.
Let's get to business.
I'm doing great tonight.
It's great. I just
Finch cannot make it tonight because
I just want to do the whole show of just reviewing Derpy's show.
Family.
I mean,
look, listen. It's still playing. This is what was going on last night. Look, it's still playing.
Dead air. He's okay. I didn't stop or anything.
No, it's playing, right?
Well,
yeah.
Let's get into this.
What time is it now? What's the stamp on that time?
6:25.
6:25. This is the first 6:25 of the show.
Let me pull it up here in a minute.
He said, "Let's get into this."
Let's get into it. Let's stop. Oh, hold up here a minute.
All right, there we go.
I wonder, like, was he actually trying to do the show, or was he trying to have sex for the first time? I can't. I don't know. There we go.
7 minutes. Here we go.
Yep.
Look at this.
Okay, we're good. All right. So
I could watch this all day. I really can.
Like,
what's up, Cody? How we doing?
You can barely see the scores. I like it. There, I'll put the comments up there.
Yeah, Ravens lost big time. It's good, Vegas. Finch is not here tonight. I'm doing it solo. So.
All right, that's enough for me. That's all I can take.
Hopefully.
I just listen. I just couldn't. I couldn't do the show today without sharing that with you. I'm listening to it live.
Derpy.
I'm thinking, what is going on? I had my phone on in the other room. And I thought, my phone must have stopped.
Yeah,
no, it was just Derpy not talking for 20 minutes.
I love it, dude. I love it. If anyone ever gets the chance, check out Derpy's channel and check out some of his very first videos.
His very first ones. Check out his last one.
Well, this one, definitely check it out. If when you're intrigued, go check out the ones where there's like 20 minutes of dead air. Then he finally starts talking.
He's all ours.
He's cut down the length of dead air. Eventually, I would say in 4 years' time, he'll be able to do a complete sentence or paragraph without any dead air. So he's improving. He's slowly getting better.
Don't take this the wrong way, ladies, but he's all ours.
You can have him for the right price.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Victory Monday. That's right, everybody. It's Victory Monday right here on the Two Dome Yinzers. I'm glad to see everybody back for episode 823 of the show. Welcome back, guys. It is Victory Monday. This is Brownies week. We won the bye. God, you can't really say enough. You can't feel good enough about your Pittsburgh Steelers this morning. I got to be honest with you. I was chomping at the bit, Mike, to get back on and talk Steelers today. There's so many things to talk about, not only with the Steelers because of everything that happened yesterday, but around the league. A lot of things, Mike, we're going to get into it today for this show. I do want to say, everybody, thank you for coming back. I do look forward to a great show, seeing everybody today. I'm going to start right here. We got Tortilla already with Cody. Cody says, good morning, fellas. Always great to see Cody. What's up, brother? Great seeing you on the board.
What up?
John, what's up, my man? John says, Derpy isn't stupid. He's getting engagement stream time for the cash. Hey, hand over fist with that opening, man. Cody says, is this Derpy's intro? Yes, definitely Derpy's intro last night. Richard says, what a rough weekend for picks. You ain't kidding.
I haven't even looked. I'm afraid to look.
What a picks killer this week was. Hopefully everybody can get back on track. Even the great RB, who's been very successful every single week, and I think he leads the way, even he struggled. Out of 13 games yesterday, the 14th being tonight. RB, I think, only had 7 correct. And that's crazy because, again, RB has just been nailing it every week. 7s, 6s, 5s, 4s. Very, very tough week, Mike. Again, a lot of these teams I wouldn't have expected to win, but they pulled it off. And here we are talking week 5 scores, NFL, and everything like it. So I do want to say welcome back. And Richard, you were 100% right. It was a terrible week for our picks, but that's all right. He follows that up by saying at least the teams the Steelers have played did well, except for the Jets. And you know what? Like I was, Mike, and this is obviously be something that we're going to get to down the road. But of course, this was a team that we just beat. That beat the Buffalo Bills last night. So again, something has to be said about that. Right here, Somber. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. He says, howdy. Hate to say I told you so about the Ravens. You know what? I'm so glad you're right. Believe me, I am very, very glad that you were right. And I'm glad that you told me so. And you know what? I wish that you continue to do that every week and be right and tell me so about the Ravens, because it's only making our day better as Steeler fans, guys. Again, so much to get into. Cody says Derpy is a man of not so many words. Tortilla says Russ and Fields like 0-7 this year. Phil the Steel, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Phil the Steel. He says it's Poopers week. Tortilla says they're actually 0-8. 0-8, those two quarterbacks. 007, what's up, brother? He says, how about the Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals all losing this week? And it is Victory Monday. If there's ever a reason to celebrate Victory Monday, it's today.
Yeah.
Because no heart attacks, no anything like this. We just got to sit back and watch the Steelers keep continuing to climb up the chart, so to speak. So again, guys, a lot of things to get into today. We're not gonna leave anything out. Right here, Tortilla. I'm sorry, Phil Steele says, was it a trap week pick? Then you know what? It was rough. It was really rough. I got to be honest. Everybody on the pick'ems generally does very well. And again, this week, I think the most correct pick so far, again, with the game tonight between the Chiefs and the Jaguars, I think RB sits at the top, but he only got 7 last night. Or through the weekend. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how the picks went. But you got to admit, look at those games yesterday. I don't know how many people, if anybody got that day correct, as far as going undefeated through the day, I'd be very surprised. Such a strange day in the NFL. Aaron, what's up, my man? Always great to see Aaron on the board. Aaron Jade, everybody. Tortilla says the luck of the Irish lasted an extra week. It sure did, man. And Ravens got hawked, is what Cody's saying on the board. They sure did. At Richard at Ryan are the losers. I don't know what it's going to play out like if I'm sure everybody probably picked the Chiefs tonight, and I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But as of right now, me and Richard are the losers. So we're going to hope that doesn't happen. We will pull that out tomorrow to take a look at how we did and how we finished, only because there is one more game tonight between the Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. But we'll get into that tomorrow. And you know what? I will willfully accept all the loser calls, because you know what? If I'm the loser, then I'm the loser. And I'm fine with that, guys. So again, maybe my fortunes will change tonight. Maybe somebody will pick Jacksonville. Maybe Kansas City will win. And you know what? I hope they do, because the Jaguars are like 3-1.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are 2-2. So if the Chiefs win, then that'll drop them both to 3-2. Put them both at 3-2, which will still leave them behind us. He'll take Jacksonville off a tie from us, Mike. But so many things. Again, so many things to talk about today. The Steelers victory Monday. Here we go, guys. A lot of things. As was said on the board, the two quarterbacks that it started for us they still haven't won yet, Mike. The Russell Wilson and Justin Fields started for us last year. Both of these quarterbacks, they wanted us to pay Fields money. They wanted us to keep him here. He has not won a game yet, and Russell Wilson neither has won a game. And the old man that everybody laughed about and said, you're in a division with Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Joe Flacco, the veteran who won a Super Bowl. You guys are going to be terrible. You have an old man as quarterback. Guess what, guys? We have games ahead of the people in our division. Special thanks to the weekend, Mike. This was past weekend as our division goes 0-3. It couldn't have went any better for the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. I'm so excited to get into everything today, Mike. Let me take a quick look at what I got. Okay, so we are lucky. We're lucky that the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming back to play this week because, Mike, the AFC North has went 1-6 in the past 2 weekends. 1-6. Us being the only win back-to-back weeks that this Ravens, Cleveland Browns, and Bengals team has gone 0-3 for the weekend. It's kind of a rare thing. It hasn't happened since 2018, where all three of those teams have lost when we had won a game. So you know what? We'll take it. And again, no heart attacks. You get to watch these games chill and not had any cardiac arrest or things like this when the Steelers play. And we continue to move up the chart, sitting at the number 3 seed ultimately right now in the playoff race. I know it's only a quarter way through the season. I know we have a lot more ways to go. But you know what? Your Pittsburgh Steelers, who they said was going to be in the basement, probably below the Cleveland Browns, are now sitting high atop the AFC North, where it was supposed to be Lamar and it was supposed to be Joe Burrow. Here we are again, guys. This is our 41-year-old quarterback. Here the Pittsburgh Steelers are finding a way to win. And that goes back to kind of what we were saying. These other guys go elsewhere and they can't find shit, Mike. They haven't won a single game.
No.
And one other thing I do want to say before you do continue on that, how can the Ravens be so bad without their starting quarterback? Now, people are going to say, well, our quarterback was out, our quarterback suspended, our quarterback got injured, or blah, 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 whatever the case is. But guess what? We've been going through this for 5 years. You have the same exact team that is supposed to win a Super Bowl this year. You take the quarterback out and you lose 45 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Mike, we went 5 years with these kind of quarterbacks, with the Kenny Pickett's and the Mitch Trubisky's and the Mason Rudolphs and the Duck Hodges. The list goes on. And what did the Steelers manage to do with those quarterbacks? We won 10 games last year with the first two we're talking about. Yeah. Won 0 to this point, Wilson and Fields. And we managed to win 10 games or at least go 500 with all these scrubs that we've had.
Yeah.
And they're going to complain that Lamar Jackson's been out 1 week. These are 1-4.
Yeah.
How bad? And I see the numbers go down on the terrible board just a moment ago. I don't recall what they were, but Derrick Henry had a terrible day.
Yeah, like 14 for 33, I think it was Derrick Henry. And not only did we have these bad quarterbacks, there's that whole year we lost TJ Watt, and we still had a winning record. So, yeah, you lost good players, so have we. But the things that's different is the Steelers find a way to win. They no excuses. There's never any pity when the Steelers lose a quarterback or a star player. But all these other teams start losing guys. Oh, it's because this guy's out. Oh, it's because that
you
guy's
can't
out.
Count.
You got to rally.
Don't have their starting quarterback.
Yeah, you got to
fuck out of here.
You got to dig down deep within yourself, within your team, to find a way to win. And yeah, we bitch about it here in Pittsburgh, but they're not. They're going to find ways to win games. It's not going to be pretty. We know that, but they find ways to win. And to watch all these other teams struggle, I'm loving it, because not only were we supposed to be one of the worst team in the AFC North, a lot of people had us as one of the worst teams in the NFL, laughing about every move we made in free agency, in the draft and trades of, oh my God, how can you trade Minkah Fitzpatrick? How's he doing down in there in Miami? I think we're doing all right with Jalen Ramsey up here. You brought in DK Metcalf. I think we're doing all right with him. You brought in Aaron Rodgers. Going into the weekend, he was tied for 4th in touchdowns. Now he's tied for 6th. He's still looking. we're doing a whole hell of a lot better than these teams with really good quarterbacks. You know, Buffalo looked unbeatable, then they go in and lose to a team that we beat, and we didn't even play our best game. So yeah, things are looking up for the Steelers. It's just great right now that we get to laugh in all the critics' faces that say, you know, that we are supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And look at us now. We're leading the division. Yes, it's only 5 games in, but you know, we're already exceeding expectations from a lot
Look
of
at me, mommy. I'm doing it.
Exactly. Now, Q, we keep it going. That's a whole nother story. But you know what? It's fun to watch these teams fall and collapse because Baltimore's schedule is supposed to get easier, but you look at the way the teams are playing. Don't just look at the names of the teams they're going to go up against. Look at how those teams are playing compared to the way Baltimore's playing. Baltimore's offensive line and defensive line looks like dog shit. I don't see how Baltimore comes back from this unless they completely flip the script and start learning how to block and stuff the run. Right now, they look shitty on the line, and we know what happens when you're shit on the line. Look at us the last 6 weeks last year.
Yeah, you know, listen, I don't think they're going to be this bad all year. I don't think they're going to be this bad all year. I think at some point they are going to get it together. I think when Lamar gets back, and again, there's still 11 games left in the season for the Baltimore Ravens.
A lot of time left.
12 games, if you will. I think, yes, 12. So, again, there's a lot of division games and a lot of things to be said. With that being said, let me just kind of give you the rundown of the division at the moment. It's Pittsburgh 3-1 in first place. Cincinnati drops a little bit with the loss 2-3. They still sit in second place. And the Baltimore Ravens and the Browns, they both fall, guys, only having 1 win on the season for both of those teams. So, again, we did 0-3 once again, like everything the same as last week. Last week, all 3 division teams lose. We move ahead. This week, all 3 teams lose. We move ahead. Everything exactly, Mike, all the way down to the amount of targets Pat Freiermuth had received last week. It's a total repeat this week, Mike. Again, Pat Freiermuth getting nothing thrown his way this weekend. So nothing changed. It was a good weekend. Again, Victory Monday, guys. We won the bye week. A couple things moving forward, Mike. We do play, of course, Cleveland this weekend. This is a big game. This is a huge game. You cannot fall into a trap with this game, Mike, because if you do win, you're sitting again. You were moving up to 4-1. And you know what? This Raven teams that a lot of people didn't think was going to beat Houston. They get another pretty decent team with Matt Stafford and the LA Rams this coming weekend. So, you know, take it as you want. But you know what? We could get a lot of help here. Again, the main point and the main thing that we have to do is win as you can, because sitting around at the end of the season, as I always say, waiting for someone to lose, it sucks, man. So let's go out and just put your foot on their throat. Do it for one time with this football team. One time. That's all. Put your foot on the throat of everybody else and just step up. And I got to be honest with you, as they're saying on the board, everybody's lost now. There's no undefeated teams. So this means that we are amongst the top teams, Mike. There are 9 teams in the league right now that is at 1 loss through 5 weeks. And that tells me this might be anybody's game. Maybe that Aaron Rodgers riding off into the sunset isn't the craziest idea this year. Maybe, again, the New England Patriots, guys, who we just beat the Buffalo Bills last night. That's kind of big. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought that the Bills would still be the only undefeated team left at the end of the day. They lose last night late 23-20 on a final field goal kicked. But they had about 10 seconds left, but it didn't matter. New England wins that game 23-20. Guys, we're right in this thing. We really are. And if you don't want to admit to that, say, guess what? Here we were 6 weeks ago. They were saying this is the worst team. This team will be in the basement. Your 41-year-old quarterback isn't going to do anything. It's a joke. Well, guess what? All those other great quarterbacks are not available. And what's the best ability in football, Mike?
Availability.
That's right, availability. And guess what? While we are 3-1, those teams are all losing. They're all losing. So, guys, very exciting. The Steelers, this is what our schedule looks like over the next month. This can be very big for us, guys. We host Cleveland. We host Cleveland this week. Then we go on the road to play the Burrow-less Bengals, who seems to be getting worse offensively by the week. After that, Green Bay comes to town, Mike, and then, of course, Indianapolis. So if this next 4 games, I'm saying you got to win these next 2. You don't lose it. You don't lose an Ohio game. If you don't lose an Ohio game, you're in good shape, because now you're sitting at 5-1.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not feeling real strong about Baltimore beating LA. If LA comes out and plays a good game, Matt Stafford would be the reason I would say that. I don't know what else LA really has going on. They're not the team that they were, obviously, when they won the Super Bowl a few years back. But again, guys, a lot of people didn't think Houston was going to beat them. Houston dominated the Ravens. Again, while we got healthy, while we got to sit around and watch, scout a little bit. So, guys, very, very, very good things are going on for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. And again, as I said, you don't lose an Ohio game, you're sitting at 5-1. Let's just say you win one of the two games against either Green Bay or Indianapolis, both at home. You're sitting at 6-2 at the 8-game mark. So you could call that the halfway point. They added the other game a few years back, the 17th game. So we're technically at the end of this 4-game run. We'll be at the halfway mark. Mike, we could be sitting at 6-2. Mind you, though, last year didn't Justin Fields start 4-2 with this team, and we got started. So where I'm going with this, Mike, we'll get into later. We have to avoid the late season slide. But again, This is no time to talk about the late season slide. No. This is time to celebrate because, again, guys, yes, this is Victory Monday. Your Pittsburgh Steelers first place by 2.5 games, basically over the Ravens themselves, and then not so much against Cincinnati. But still, nonetheless, we do have the lead in the division. It's looking good. They're looking bad, and I will take it. I will take it because when we're down, Mike, and we're having a bad season, nobody sits around and says, oh, poor Steelers. Too bad they're not up here with the Ravens winning the division. Poor Steelers. No, that's not the case. F everybody. F everybody. Because everybody wants to talk shit on our Steelers and our 41-year-old quarterback. Take a look around, see what's going on. Whether this team will be able to continue, I think there's a chance. I do think there's a chance, Mike, and we'll get into so much today. A lot of things. I can't even begin to tell you what we have. We're going to get in here into today. So let me turn it back over to you briefly. We'll get back to these messages, and then we'll get back into it, man.
If this team can, jump off to a 6-2 start, that'd be amazing. And I know we didn't want to talk about that late season slide. Just doing a quick glance at the schedule. Like these teams that we thought were going to be tough down the stretch right now don't look too tough. So, but this Cleveland game coming up is no gimme. Their rookie quarterback starting his first game did not look rattled at all.
No, he looked good.
He looked good. The Browns defense is still one of the best in the NFL. So, like we said last week, let's not fall into that Big Ben trap of looking ahead going, we got 2 bye weeks. Got to win these next 2 games. It's a short turnaround, too, after the Browns to the Bengals. We got the Thursday night game. But after that Bengal game, we got a nice little 10-day rest till we play the Green Bay Packers. So we get a little mini bye in there.
That's true, Mike. A lot of people don't realize we have 2 games in the next 11 days.
Yeah. So they need to focus hardcore on the Browns. You beat the Browns, and then you got the Bengals on a short week. I'd rather have the Bengals on the short week than have this reversed. I think the Bengals are the most beatable team between them and the Browns. Or you go in a little less time of preparation against the Bengals, that'd be fine. But they got to survive Browns week, and don't keep it close. Yeah.
I think it's vital to the season. Mm-hmm. If they want this to be a good season, you got to beat this Browns team. You got to beat them, man. You can't drop this game this week and then have us wondering, going, oh, at least we have Cincinnati next, and then now you're starting to worry about Green Bay and Indianapolis. I'm starting to feel comfortable about our football team against Green Bay and Indianapolis, especially considering a couple things. 2 about this Cleveland game where they beat Green Bay. Cleveland beat Green Bay, so that's 1. For 2, Green Bay slept on Cleveland. They slept on Cleveland. They felt this was going to be a cupcake game. Mm-hmm. You don't sleep on an AFC North team if you are from outside of the division. You just don't know. You just don't know. AFC North teams will keep it dirty enough and ugly enough and shitty enough to find a way to somehow win it at the end of the game, as Cleveland did. I think they kicked the field goal to win it 29-28, something like this. You don't let AFC North teams hang around. You don't play the ugly, dirty game with these teams. They will beat you, Mike. And again, we know this. We're going to be able to we'll have that with to our advantage against Cleveland. But that's what happened. Green Bay looked past Cleveland. We're not going to look past Cleveland. And the fact that Cleveland beat them, that gives me a little bit more confidence for the game here in 3 weeks, Mike, when we do play the Packers.
It was a 13-10 game. Cleveland scored 13 points in that.
That's right. It was on,
I knew it was a close game, but and they did. They kept it dirty. They kept Jordan Love under 200 yards passing. They kept their running back under 40 yards rushing. They made it a typical AFC North slugfest. They made it a dirty game, and a team coming from the NFC North, they're wide open passing game, having fun type of football. So yeah, the Steelers cannot overlook this Browns team. Like they shouldn't, just because people hate to hear, but Myles Garrett is playing out of his mind this year. And they got some in their rookie class that they got is playing out of their mind too. I think they have the most rookie snaps out of any team in the NFL. So their young guys are playing well. If they can ever get it all together, this Brown teams could be dangerous. But I don't trust their head coach to do that. But I trust their head coach enough to beat us. He has done it. They
Like
have done it.
this team, they traveled. What they traveled 300 miles to do Browns things overseas.
Yeah.
I listen. Ultimately, I'm not afraid of this team, but ultimately, I know better. You can't take them lightly. This could certainly turn into a trap game. And if, like I said, if you lose this game, then you're going to start putting the doubts in the minds. If they keep this thing going again, like they're sitting 5-1 here in 2 weeks going into this Green Bay game, I'm feeling really good. I am. I'm gonna be feeling really good if we're 5-1 heading into the Green Bay game. You got to like our chances, especially if the Ravens could take another L between now and then. And again, these Ohio teams, they'll lose to us if that be the case. Probably other teams. The Orange Helmets, I'm not worried about whatsoever. They're done. Stick a fork in them. They're just going through the motions at this point. Yes, they have a lot of good points. Yes, there's Myles Garrett. Yes, we'll talk about all those things as we get ready for that game. But again, Mike, as things look right now, it really couldn't be better. Nobody is technically, I mean, yes, some teams are 4-1, but we're 3-1 due to the bye. But technically, nobody record-wise is doing anything that's greater than what we're doing. And again, with the bye, Mike, we get to jump back in it. Hopefully, we get one of those games after the bye. I think Tomlin has a great record. They go on and on every year.
Or some shit like that. Yeah.
So we get this win this week. It's going to be huge. And then also, Mike, in the division, it also looks like this in this coming up week. Of course, we talked about the Rams. They're going to be playing at Baltimore, and then Cincinnati at Green Bay. So I think that we're going to get a little bit more help in that Cincy game. And also, again, Mike, this team got blown out by Houston, this Baltimore team. So losing to the Rams is not out of the question, in my opinion. I think that, again, Stafford's a pretty good quarterback, and I think that this team can win football games. I think they're sitting at 3-2 at the time. They're not bad, but you know what? Big. This might be one of the biggest games, certainly to this point in the season, Mike. Cleveland at home. You got to take advantage. You got to win. If you were a good team, you go out and win this football game.
Yeah, and you win this game, and if Baltimore loses, that's putting them so much further into the rearview mirror to where you almost don't have to worry about them anymore.
Well, that's where I think the problem is, because they have a shitload of easy games once we hit our stretch of good games. That's the part that worries me. If they get healthy and get confident at the right time, they're going to get all their Patriots. They're going to get their Jets. They're going to get all these teams, Mike, and we're going to get all the other teams. We're going to get the Detroits. We're going to get the Buffaloes. We're going to get the Green Bays. So
the thing is, so they
1 week at a time. One week at a time. Let's win this Cleveland game, and that's the first step of getting to where we want to be, I think. But Mike, you're right. I mean, if they continue to bury themselves, that's wonderful. I just can't imagine, Mike, that this team is going to shit the bed for the entire season. Talking about the team from Maryland.
I looking ahead though, the Bears they're hanging tough at 2-2. That they're not a gimme anymore. I think the Dolphins, the Jets, and the two Bengal games are gimmies for Baltimore. But the Browns, I think, are going to be a tough game for them. They have to play us twice.
Once.
Yeah. But the way they're playing now, keeping tight with a pretty good Viking team, and then the Patriots just upset the Bills, and then the Packers and us twice. So it's not as easy as it looks. I think they have some tough games coming up. So I think the schedule's kind of balanced now for us and them. You throw out the Bengals games, which should be winnable for both teams. The schedules are kind of stacked evenly against each other.
I also do want to say this, Mike. We are 4.5 point favorites for this game this week against Cleveland. We'll take it. Not much, but you know what? I understand. People still don't believe, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That seems to be when we play our best football. And also, what else do we got, Mike? The odds. The odds still haven't changed as far as who they believe is going to win the division. As of right now, the odds still in the favor of the Ravens to win the AFC North, Mike, at a minus 105. Steelers being in second place team now, Mike, moving their way up a lot. They are sitting at plus 110. Cincinnati sitting at plus 1600. The Browns sitting at plus 1800. So as I think a lot of fans, they know what's going on. Mike, you understand that this is going to come down to the Steelers. It's going to come down to the Ravens, because if not, two things have to happen. The Ravens have to shit the bed entirely, and two, the Steelers have to play great football the whole rest of the way out. And I haven't seen either one of those two things take place in quite some time. The Ravens, a lot of times, they do lose these early games. They find ways to bounce back. The Steelers, who do start quick sometimes, 6-2, 10-3, they tend to hit these slides at the end of the season. So again, it's a week by week game. There should be nothing on Steelers' mind more than the Cleveland Browns at this time. And again, if you don't take this serious, they will beat you. It's happened to us in the past, and and it'll happen to us again. So, Mike, this is where you want to be at this point, though, if you are the Steelers, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right now. You control your own destiny. 4 weeks, 5 weeks into the NFL season, that's exactly where you want to be. Your future's in your hands. You just have to go out and worry about who you have in front of you, and just play to win that game. And then once that game's over, move on to the next. Just focus at the task at hand, because that's the easiest type of football to play, because you're not scoreboard watching during the game. That's when you get in trouble as a team. Once you start looking up at that scoreboard, going, "Oh, how's so-and-so doing? How's so-and-so doing?" Because that's going to affect the way you play. And once you see a team that you need to win and they start losing, and you're like, "Fuck," that's going to affect your performance. Now these cats just go out there and play their game. They don't have to worry about fuck all, except for the man across from them. And if they can stay focused like that, this team, we're seeing them, they're getting better every week. They're not making leaps and bounds every week, but they're slowly getting better every week. And I'd rather have that slow, gradual build instead of taking a big jump, plateauing, and then falling off. Just keep climbing, getting better towards the end. So you're playing your best football going into the playoffs, not playing your best football at week 10, week 12, week 13, where we've seen that in the past and where they've fallen apart.
Steelers' big win. The big win yesterday on the bye week. We'll take it. It is a
bye week champions, baby.
We won the bye week, guys. But you know what? There's a lot of exciting things going on with this team right now and around the league. Again, right now, I'd say that you would have to say that they have as good a chance as anybody. Yes, the Philly, the Eagles, Buffalo, they are good. They're going to play good football. But right now, you're looking at schedules. You're looking at records. You're looking at standings. The Steelers are the number 3 team in the AFC right now, Mike. If the playoffs started today, which they're not, they would be hosting the Denver Broncos this coming weekend, which I like our chances with the Broncos. And, Mike, here's another interesting number. Every team that has a winning record in the AFC is in a playoff spot. The other teams are all under 500. So there you go. We're that close. We're that close to having teams that aren't 500 sitting in the 7th spot. Not the case. Everybody 1 through 7 above 500. The rest of the teams in the AFC below 500. We'll get into that. The positioning, again, not important right now, but we'll take a look at those numbers here in a little bit, Mike. But I got to say, after the victory over the weekend with the way this played out for the Steelers, I don't want to leave anybody out. This is a big day. I want to hear what everybody has to say. Let's jump back on the board right here at 12:06:45. Mike, this is what Cody says. He says Derrick Henry, 15 carries, 33 yards. He was the reason why I thought they were going to beat Houston.
Yeah.
I thought that he was going to, as he usually runs all over everybody, I thought he'd find a way and they'd win, but that obviously wasn't the case. Mike, 15 carries, 33 yards by Derrick King Henry, baby.
Yeah. Not looking good. Not King.
Not even quite as good as the terrible day that Ashton Genty had with his 67 yards with the Raiders. But you know what? We're not going to talk about him right now. It was just a stab that I needed to take at Mike while we were having this conversation. Tortilla says this: everyone was mad about the early bye, but given how it went, it may have been the perfect bye week. As long as we don't shit the bed, we should win in the North. We have to play good, though. And you know what, guys? Could we admit that we have a good football team? Yes, we didn't play great early. But we have I sat around and I thought about the defensive lineup the other day. I thought, you know what, we're stacked. We faced Diggs. We faced Jefferson. Why did none of these people beat us? Because we got a stacked secondary.
Yeah.
We didn't let them guys beat us. So if you plan accordingly every week and you play to the strength of the other team, their weaknesses, then you know what? We have just as good a chance as anybody. And again, this New England team that beat Buffalo last night, we just beat them. So in my opinion, guys, this is anybody's season. The riding off into the sunset for the old man isn't out of the plans yet. I think that Mike, and again, I'm not going to get into that, but
but this team hasn't even played their best football yet.
No, they haven't played a complete game, and you know what? You see them improving. And again, maybe another weekend, your offensive line sort of gels a little bit more. Maybe another weekend you got healthy, which again, guys, this is what we're expecting as far as injuries. We do know as of right now, they are expecting Joey Porter Jr. They are expecting Alex Highsmith, excuse me, and they are expecting Jalen Warren to all return this week against Cleveland. Jalen Ramsey and Calvin Austin III, they are expecting to still be out. But that is some good news as well. Getting these three guys back in the line, getting starters back in the lineup is always a good thing. So again, as teams continue to falter in our division, the Steelers keep landing in a bed of roses somehow until this point. I got to be honest, guys, going into week 6, are we disappointed with our team? I would have to think most people would say no. Let's move on, Mike. I do want to move to talking trash with the Steeler gang. Jamal, my man, what's up, brother?
What up?
Always great seeing you on the board. I tell you what, I come over and I visit your show often when you're on. But usually at that point, like I'm in my house coat and curlers, so to speak. I don't want to hop on board. I'm not as pretty as I am.
He's disheveled.
I'm a little disheveled at that time, but I love the show. I do want to say that to my friend Jamal on the board. Also, Somber said just worried about injuries with the early bye. Our team is so old. That's a very good point, Mike. Very good point. Especially with the way guys are out a little extra long these days with injuries. That could certainly be a concern. Again, I'm not an expert or really in the know of what these two guys that aren't coming back, talking about Ramsey and CA3, but injuries seem to take a little longer these days for guys to come back. I don't know if they just don't rush them back anymore, if they want you to thoroughly get through your therapy. I don't know what the case is, but hopefully we get those two back soon, as they are big parts of this team, Mike, especially with the leadership of Jalen Ramsey out on that defense.
Oh yeah, that's the big component that I miss Jalen Ramsey is not only is he the leader, he's like the emotional leader as well. Now, he's the one who gets everyone fired up for the game. It seems like
it's like Ray Lewis not being in the lineup for the Ravens. You just that presence. He's one of the best at his position. He is such a leader. He's very vocal. And if he's not in the game, Ray Lewis, that defense wasn't the same thing. They were good, but I get that feeling, Mike, about this with Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, that's how I feel when he's not in the lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they play without him. But hopefully, we do have enough depth to overcome that, and getting Porter back I think should be a big help too.
Kenneth, what's up, Kenneth? Always great seeing Kenneth Jones on the board. What's up, my man? Cody says other teams should trade for Cooper Rush. I'm like, that's the thing. I remember Cooper Rush playing in Dallas at one point thinking this kid isn't that bad. My God, they got blown out. I love it. You got to love it as a Steeler fan. Not much. I'd like to see much more than that.
Yeah, like I don't understand some of these teams that are in contention never have a decent backup quarterback. Someone who can at least, just hold down the fort till the starter gets back. We were lucky for so many years we had Charlie Batch, because whenever he was called upon, he could manage the game. We can tailor a game plan around him to go. But you see a lot of these teams like Cincinnati, Baltimore, Buffalo, KC, they don't have a guy that I would really trust to go in and be to lead my team if my starter goes down to keep my position in the playbook.
In Buffalo, what are you talking about?
Hey, former number 1 overall pick. Let's put some respect on his name.
And I got to tell you, Mike, another one I am impressed with is Drake May up in New England.
Yeah, I was never a big Drake May fan. I thought he was too cocky and arrogant, but since he's coming to the NFL, he's still, he still has that swagger to him, but he's toned it down, and it's allowed him to play football better, not forcing the ball into tight windows. And I thought that was going to be the nail in the coffin for the kid, that he thought he could make every single throw and do everything out there, but he's become a much better player, and still has that swagger about him and doesn't let it get to his head and start playing stupid. So you were right about him. I was wrong about him.
Which is usually the case, but we will continue. We won't rub it in or anything like that, because we still have a lot of college football to talk about later in the show. You just hang tight over there.
Nothing happened in the
today's your day.
I'm a free agent when it comes to college.
This is the day you get crucified.
I'm a Kent State Golden Flash fan.
Or what about the Youngstown State Penguins? As Derpy was going on through the weekend, we had to hear about this Youngstown State Penguins team, and then they lose. They lost.
I'm officially a free. I've entered the fan portal.
Field of Steel says, all I got to say is Steeler coaches better coach to win and not to lose. Hey, Steeler coaches, you better come out with, we got balls, schemes for the rest of the season. You know what? And here's the thing, guys. And we're talking about Ramsey and his leadership. You have equal leadership on the other side of the ball with Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is leading this team. Aaron Rodgers is getting the guys to buy in. Aaron Rodgers, you know, again, being closer to 50 than he is to 30 in a young man's game is doing things that are making his team believe that, you know what, if I could do this, we could do this. You know what I mean? We, again, got a pretty good team. I don't think pound for pound we're the best team in the league. I think that's kind of a ways to go. But still, as everybody drops out of the unbeaten ranks over the weekend, Mike, I think that this opens things up for a lot of teams. And you also now have to start considering your Indianapolis Colts, who's sitting there with only one loss at this point in the season. There's teams that so again, Mike, the Colts beat us when they didn't have good quarterback things going on. That's going to be something we're going to have to worry about here in a few weeks because, again, now with Danny Dimes all of a sudden in his resurgence, this is a whole different football team. This is going to be a game that's going to be tough for us, Mike. And, again, that's why I say if we go 1-1 in the Indianapolis and Green Bay games, I'm going to be okay with that as long as we win these next 2 Ohio games.
Yeah, and with Danny Dimes, you know, he seems to be that perfect amount of dumb to where he's not going to let pressure get to him.
Right.
Like, I swear the only thing going through his head when he's back playing quarterback is, what to do? I'm playing football. Oh, there's a guy. Throw the ball.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't let he's so dumb he doesn't let the pressure get to him. And that's an unfair advantage to him. Yeah,
I always admire people like that.
Just aloof to what's going on. Like, knows, hey, I got to do the job. I'm going to do it. And it's not like he's that mental giant of like someone like an Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, they can tune out that noise. I think he just doesn't. It doesn't register him because there's not a lot going on up there with Danny.
Yeah, I always admired them guys. They could do really good because they just don't have the you know.
They don't. Yeah, I know what I can't articulate what I'm trying to say, but I'm glad you know what I mean.
Yeah. Cody says Cooper Rush is a baller. Jamal says the Cowboys fans love Cooper. He did well at times. I got to say, I remember him playing well, and I thought, you know what, he might be a good backup. But you know, you see. Let's see. No excuses. Tortilla says this. Mike Tallman would have won with Cooper Rush, but it would have been a 7-6 game. You're probably right. You're probably right. Somber says the Ravens defense has been cooked since week 1. I know, boys. What happened to that defense? I thought this Roquan Smith was the real deal. We're gonna get rid of Patrick Queen because we got Roquan Smith and Marlon Humphrey and these guys like this. Mike, this defense looked JV at best.
It did too, and they started looking bad before they started losing players. So you can't blame it on injuries. They were looking bad before guys started falling off. So dude, man, just on being on anything Baltimore Ravens, man, they want the entire coaching staff tarred and feathered and ran out of town. I'm like, finally, it's not our fans.
I love
to
this.
Kill everyone.
Was this not a great weekend of football? Jeez, man. Again, no heart attacks with our team. We get the bye. Everybody else loses. Everybody else fails miserably.
Yeah, they're ready to jettison Harbaugh.
And I got to be honest with you, Mike. You know, as upsetting as it was to lose as much as we did in the CBS Pick'em polls, it's okay because it helped us out here in the rural world and our Steelers and our football team. So as these things continue to happen throughout the weekend, I started to care less and less about the poll and started to say, you know what, this is a great week for the Steelers.
It is too.
This might be the best week so far of the NFL season for us.
It has been, and I'm going to say I'm one of the few that picked the Texans to win. Just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked the Texans to win.
Yeah, I know.
Chad, what's up, man? Always great seeing Chad Schrader on the board. He says, what's up, Yinzer fam? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. That's right. And that's where I'm at, man. We are in here we go mode. As I said, these 2 Cleveland games or these 2 Ohio games couldn't be placed any better in our schedule. We win these 2 games. We're sitting at 5-1. Coming back home for Green Bay and then coming home again for Indy. Again, you go 1-1. We'll take 2-0. Who wouldn't? But I'll take 1-1. I'm happy sitting with 6-2 at the 8-game point. But again, it all starts with Ohio teams. This week, you cannot lose. You cannot find a way to lose. You have to show that you've gotten better and you're still moving in the right direction. That's how people are going to start believing in this football team. Like, again, as they still do have the 1-4 Ravens winning the division with a -105, and the Steelers at a +110, being the second team they're saying could win the division. And you know what? As Jamal's saying, hey, we lead the division. That's right, baby. We lead the division. And guess what? Nobody could say anything because our 41-year-old quarterback got it done.
Yeah. And
Oh, Mike, but we don't have our quarterback. We don't have our quarterback. Bullshit. You didn't have Duck Hodges years either.
exactly. Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph.
You didn't draft Kenny Pickett either. Come on.
Right?
Don't cry to us about quarterbacks. I mean,
Yeah,
if anybody understands this situation and this problem, we're the team that knows how to win without
exactly.
losers.
Right? And they all have the same amount of Super Bowls in the same time span as we do. So fuck them.
007 says both Philly and Buffalo lost, so no more undefeated teams. That's right, man. I do want to say welcome to 00. Always great seeing you on the terrible board, my friend. You know what? And there's only one team that doesn't have a win, and that's the New York Jets. Again, Justin Fields, who a lot of people wanted us to re-sign, can't seem to get his team a win, Mike. He is 0-26.
Yeah.
Mike, he is 0-26 when his opponents score 20 or more points in a football game. 0-26 when his opponents score 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals in a football game. So again, guys, I think we made the right move. It doesn't look sexy. Obviously, the old man isn't sexy. But guys, look where we're at. Look what the Jets are doing. Mike, and I do want to say one more thing, and I'll pass it right back to you. Aaron Glenn, the coach up there, the new coach that they do have in New York. It's the first time that a Jets coach went 0-5 to start the new job as the Jets.
That's hysterical right there. Like, and Fields isn't playing that bad either. He had 4 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing, and only 1 turnover. So he's not playing that bad, but he's just not the answer for a team like the Jets. And it's funny too, where everyone was up in arms that we let him walk out the building, we let Russ leave, and all. You get this old man, and the old man's just being slow and steady and methodical with the team, and it's working right now. He doesn't have to be the hero; just has to make plays when needed. The offense is slowly getting there. The defense is slowly rounding into form, and as long as they can keep winning, that's all I care about. And they're building in the right direction while everyone else is collapsing. A lot of teams started off hot. They started off looking good, and you see them slowly falling down.
You're starting to see things fall into place now. You're starting to see teams for who they are. And you know what? Washington getting their quarterback was big yesterday. Mike, a lot of things, as I said, are starting to fall into place in the league. Take a look at your standings, guys. It's going to give you a pretty accurate idea of what it is that's going on in the league. Mike, I don't think there's anything that's deceiving. I do still think that the Baltimore is a little bit better than their record shows. And I do think as they get to the easier part of the schedule, you're going to start to see a little bit. They're going to start climbing again once they get healthy. This is why I'm saying, for once, please, coach, please just put your foot on their throat for once. Let's beat Cleveland. Let's beat Cincy. Let's come home and win 1 or 2. Maybe if we can win both of those next 2 games after that, we'll be in great shape. But come on, let's not do this thing that we do every year. We play down to the opponents. We give everybody a chance because, again, nobody's waiting for our asses when we're struggling. Take advantage. Get out ahead. Stay ahead because, again, Mike, they are still in Las Vegas. Again, there's a lot of money moving. They know what they're talking about. They still have Baltimore winning this division, as unlikely as it seems at this point. But we still have a lot of football to be played this year, Mike. I'm not counting out the Ravens. As much fun as I think that it would be to do so, I don't think it's very wise to do so. Again, this team, Mike, they've done this before. They've had years where they started 1-3. They've had years where they started 2-4. This team doesn't stay down long, like us. They are a lot like us, and I often compare them to us, Mike, because the Steelers are never down for long periods of time.
No, and I don't know, man. You start 1-4, you have like a 7% chance to make the playoffs.
They're still giving them guys a high chance, though. They have a better chance than we do.
I know. I just right now, I like our chances a whole hell of a lot better than I like Baltimore's chances.
I like our chances better, Mike, whenever the quarterbacks in our division are Cooper Rush, Jake Browning, and Dylan Gabriel. I got to be honest with you.
If Baltimore starts 1-5, their season's done. Now, they can play spoilers. Don't get me wrong; they can play spoilers for a lot of teams, but I think their season's done at that point.
Now you're thinking talking about winning the division, Mike. You could still get in the postseason as a wild card right around 500. That's what's been going on the past few years. As a matter of fact, a couple years back, somebody that was under 500 got in. So again, for that reason and that reason only, Mike, I can't count out Baltimore until I officially know that they have been eliminated from the playoffs. But you know what? I refuse to talk about those idiots for this whole show. Let's continue to talk to the smart people, the people that are on the board, Mike, as I always love to hear what they have to say. Let's continue on here. Right here. Phil the Steel says, at Cody, I knew Cooper is a quarterback. He showed it versus Steelers. Cody says, Derrick Henry in the locker room last night, crying. Jamal says, Minka had a pick yesterday. Tortilla says, we're going over 8.5 games. You think?
Easy.
You think? Come on. Let's see. Cody says, Justin Fields made history. He sure did. First team to go 0-5. They're going to win games. They're going to find ways, but, not looking great so far. Somber says Rams might put up 50. You know what? I hope they do, man. If the Rams come out and just blow them out, imagine how good we're going to feel next week, especially if we're hitting Victory Monday with a win over the Browns throughout the weekend, guys. It could be back-to-back great weekends, great Mondays. Let's hope that that's the case. Cody says the Ravens prediction 75-14. You know what? The way that this game with Houston went, I guess you can't count them out. You can't count that out. We'll certainly take it. Tortilla says Mike Tomlin won almost as many games with Fields as the Jets did with Aaron. And this year, Mike Tomlin has almost won as many games as the Jets did all last year. And it's week 6.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers won, they won 4 or 5 games last year, I think.
I don't remember, but that's incredible. Again, they're the Jets. That's why I say that. People laugh. They say, well, they're a football team. They're the NFL. Well, you know what they are, the Jets. Look, historically, this team stinks. They sold their soul in 1969. Joe Namath sold the soul of this organization, and they haven't been any good since. Tortilla says no one will give him any credit, though, until it goes wrong when it's his fault, but he won with the quarterbacks he had last year who can't win this year and winning with players this year who couldn't win last year. Cody says Patriots beat the Bills. We beat the Patriots. Therefore, we beat the – but you know what? It's not out of the question now, Cody. It's not out of the question. If Buffalo would have beat this team like 35-7.
Yeah.
I would still be saying, we have to find a way to beat Buffalo. But guess what? This is encouraging. The fact that lowly New England team, division, I understand. Yeah. I was going to play the division better. You know them better. But that was not a good football team. Look at the blueprint. Look at what it was that they did. Use that. Apply it some places in your strategy. But whatever they did, they figured out a way to beat this team, Mike, that I think most people considered probably the Super Bowl team from the AFC this year. As you're looking around at some of these other teams, I think that's an easy route to go. But again, Mike, this team lost to a pretty bad. And don't get me wrong, New England's improving. They are improving. You see things where you're like, they're. But, Mike, they still lost to New England at the end of the day.
They did. And it's kind of like an embarrassing loss for Buffalo. That's a team that,
at home.
Buffalo should still be rocking and rolling. And
we beat New England in New England in their home stadium.
Yeah, and New England's now right on their heels. They're only one game
behind them.
Yeah, and New England's 2-0 in that division. Buffalo's 2-1 now. So that's those division games right there. That's why you have to beat your opponents, man. You don't want to lose that or lose your standing because of a division record right there. And that's what division games are tough. That's why this Browns game coming up, I'm more worried about it than a lot of people are.
Absolutely.
And we say it all the time here, man.
It would certainly knock us down a peg, and I don't just mean in the records, in standings. I mean, as fans, a loss to the Browns would certainly knock us down a peg, and I'm not ready for that.
No, I'm not either. I want to get a nice win next week, and I'm confident we're going to win just because based off historical trends. Coming out of the bye under Cowher, under Tomlin, we're one of the better franchises coming out of the bye, giving them extra time to prepare. I don't see why that's going to change because the way the teams have been playing this year, when they're ready to go, you can tell from opening kickoff if this team's going to win the game or not. You can just tell by the look in the eye against Seattle. You see like some of the guys did not have it in them. And I think coming back from Ireland after the bye, seeing what's going on in the division and throughout the NFL, I think this team's going to come out fired up, ready to go Sunday.
All right, let's continue on the board. A lot of great comments today, guys. And as I said, this is Victory Monday, if I've ever seen Victory Monday, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Somber says, in response to Cody's Patriots beat the Bills beat the Patriots, or we beat the Patriots. That last comment we had, Somber says, football math. That is perfect.
It
football
is
math. I got what he was saying. I understood it immediately when it was being said. Also, Cody did say this. He says, shout out to the Ravens for showing out for that home crowd. Round of applause. And you know what? They're at home again this week against the Rams. So maybe if the Rams come to town and beat them at their home, maybe that'll just be even more depleting for that disgusting, terrible, nasty, stinking ass football team from over in Maryland. Would be nothing better to see than the Rams go into their stadium and beat them, have back-to-back home losses. Then, Mike, I'm starting to change my mind on Baltimore. But again, it's still too early for me. It's still too early for me to take the division. It's still too early for me to count out Baltimore. There's a lot of football to be played left this season, guys. It's still, again, we're going into week 6 of 18 for its entirety. So technically this week coming up is a third of the way through the season. We just have to keep that in mind, guys. Still a lot of football to be played. Tortilla says, at this rate, we could win the North at 9-8. Wouldn't that be some shit if we went 9-8 and won the division at this point?
Would that not be on brand for the Steelers?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, at that point, I don't feel confident anymore. If we finish 9-8 and win this division, now I'm starting to question us for the playoff run.
Yeah.
If we continue doing what we're doing and getting better every week, Mike, and not finishing 9-8, then I start feeling a little bit better about what we're doing in January.
You're right. Right now, I still have us around 10, 11 wins. I'm still feeling comfortable in that range because I think some of these bad teams are a little bit better than what we're giving them credit for.
Absolutely.
So, that's why I'm not saying 13.
An 0-5 Jets team, we beat by 2 points. You always have to keep those kind of things into consideration.
Yeah, and I think that was like the best game the Jets have played all year, too. I think they shot their wad way, way early. Yeah. We're still building up like Derpy.
Like the 8-minute entrance in his show.
It's like he's the Undertaker walking down the ramp at WrestleMania. Right.
Undertaker's entrance was longer than WrestleMania.
So, man, he wrestled for it was a 14-minute match, 8-minute walk down the ramp, but
right. That's what I was thinking. I'm watching that show. I'm thinking this song is still playing. This show's going for 7.5 minutes.
Like, I wish we had the rights to the Undertaker theme because every time Derby come on, we just play that.
I think you could still. I think you could use the sound like boom.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that. But let's move forward here, guys. Jamal says the freaking Jets. The Saints kicked the Giants. Yeah. But my thing about the Saints, though, guys, they were going to win eventually. You started to see them getting closer as it's been going on. And I figured out of the teams that were still left that didn't have wins, they would be one of the next ones to win. Mike, and then also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, into whatever the name of their dome stadium is, some teams have trouble playing there because it gets really loud in there. You got a young quarterback coming in. So that's why I went with the Saints. I figured just that little bit of home cooking. But that Jackson Dart's not looking too bad, is he?
Jackson Dart. I tell you what, Mike, he actually looks nice for his second game played. On top of him, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that I think that we can talk about this week, and we're going to get into all of them because we are going to bust through the scores. But I can't stop talking about my Steelers, guys.
Hell no.
This is Victory Monday again, guys. Thank you for joining us, everybody on the board, everybody and all together as well. Thank you so much. A lot of things we're going to get into today, talking about our Steelers, talking about how things are looking moving forward. And again, the first place Steelers by a couple games, Mike, they're not going to be out of first place for a while. Even if we lose a few and these other teams win a few, it's still going to be first place Steelers. So enjoy it, guys. I don't know if many people expected this a third of the way through the season. And if they did, I would certainly think that they were expecting us to be neck and neck with Baltimore, which isn't the case. And I will take it any minute because, again, Mike, shit happens to us and no one gives two shits about us when it happens. So we're going to take it and run with it. And a matter of fact, let's see right here, Chad Schrader on the board. He says, go Steelers and F all of the other 31 teams. And you know what, guys? This is where I'm at. F all the other 31 teams. It's all about us. F them. I don't care. Because you know what? Everybody had something against us going into the season. Nobody expected us to have a 2.5 game lead over the Baltimore Ravens going into week 6. So again, F everybody. It's all about the Steelers. Here we go. Big game against the Browns this week, guys. You got to win this. You got to win this. This is just as big as any of them. Let's move forward here where Richard says Steelers defense normally eats up rookie quarterbacks. They do. They really do, guys. Of course, Dylan Gabriel, he looked good yesterday, though, Mike, in the game that they ended out losing. His numbers looked something similar to this. He threw 2 touchdowns with no turnovers on foreign soil. He had his rookie running back ran for 110 yards. His defense forced 2 turnovers and got 3 sacks. They still lost. Mike, that's gonna turn into a win on some Sundays. Those numbers aren't going to be all losses all year, and I sure don't want to be on the losing end.
No, that's why I said last week, man, this game when Big Ben would say, no, it's a bye, 2-week bye. Like, no, this Browns team is actually good. That defense is a top 10 defense, top 5 defense, and they have just enough playmakers on offense to scare you, to where, you know, Jukins, he's a rookie, but he's starting to come into his own after only playing 3 games, I think, because he was out for a while. I like Njoku. I think he's a very underrated tight end.
And you know what, Mike? If you look at that stat sheet, they better figure out how to cover Njoku, because he led the way yesterday, I think, with 8 catches and a whole shitload of yards.
Like 6 for
Find
67.
a way to stop him, because they're going to go to him, and they're going to go too often, especially with the rookie quarterback, I bet, Mike.
Yeah, and Isaiah Bond, the guy who went undrafted due to like legal issues. They scooped up him and got him undrafted free agent. This guy was a borderline first-round potential pick. They get him an undrafted free agent. The cat has potential. And like Jerry Jeudy, they still have. I know he finds a way to terrorize us. It feels like every time we play him. They also have another good young tight end and Fannin Jr. They got weapons on that team, but can they get it all together? That's just going to be the thing with Brown. So that's why, like, it's not a gimme to me. That team, they're playing a lot of rookies, and their rookies are playing really, really well, and that could be a scary combination when you're a young team. You kind of have that. You're too dumb to know you should suck and lose, because you're just out there playing football, living your dream.
Almost like Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, yeah. Like, you see this, especially you see this like more in hockey, where you got a young team that's hot. They just don't know they're not supposed to be there. They're a year too early. Browns have enough young dumb guys to not know that they should suck.
Anybody that goes to that team and thinks that they have a chance, I guess you could put them in the whole dumb category.
Right.
Let's get back to the board. Somber says, shut down Jukins, and it should be good all day. It should be a good day. And he follows it up by saying Garrett was I think he had a sack yesterday. I didn't watch the Browns game in its entirety, but you're right. He didn't make the difference that he needed to make. I can be honest about that. Also, Phil the Steel says, yes, Steelers D feeds on rookie quarterbacks. They smell blood, and Steel defeats. Feasts. Yes, you know what, Mike, and hopefully that carries over, because again, I think this could be a pretty I think, again, Mike, division games always tough, but I think the Steelers got a good chance of walking away, and the Steelers and the coaches and the staff should not be thinking about anything other than this Cleveland Browns team at this point. Right here where Cody says, I seen a clip of the Green Bay O lineman yesterday. Oh no, run Jordan, Miles blew past Miles Garrett. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that clip was great.
Yeah.
It's never good when your O lineman's yelling, "Look out!"
I know. Ravens the GOAT. Let's see. John says went from King Henry to Prince Albert in just 5 weeks.
Oh damn.
Cody says nothing better than both Harbaugh brothers losing yesterday and John getting booed out of the stadium. Absolutely. Listen, you know what? And I would be like, you know what? That's kind of effed up. That's their fans. But you know what? Remember when they put the farewell video of Ben Roethlisberger on their jumbotron in his last game, and it was him just getting sacked every time by all their players. I don't feel anything for that Baltimore Ravens team ever. I kind of guess I sort of respect them, but at the end of the day, F them.
I do kind of find that still makes me laugh that they did that for Big Ben.
So you know what? If they're booing Harbaugh, good.
Fuck them. I hate the Harbaughs. I always have and always will. And so when they both lose, it's even better.
Cody, it's his. You're right. Calvin Austin III's X-ray did come back negative, but still they are not expecting him as of right now. That could change tomorrow when Coach has his press conference. He may tell us otherwise, but as of right now, Calvin Austin is not expected to return, as JPJ, Alex Highsmith, and Jalen Warren are expected to return. Again, Jalen Ramsey and Calvin Austin at this point. It could change. But at this point, they're not expecting.
I'm predicting for Calvin Austin, it's going to be said his participation is going to determine his availability. That's what I'm guessing right there for CA3. And hopefully he plays.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean, again, because otherwise you're dipping into your into
The
your
non-exciting whites.
your 2.5 exciting whites, and I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of for one, Roman Wilson only still has one throw to him all season. That's concerning to me.
Two.
It
Get it
doesn't
right.
matter. It doesn't matter. And you know what? I don't think Scotty Miller and Scarana got much more. So again, there's a reason. There's a reason they haven't been part of the game plan. That is somewhat concerning to me. But again, Mike, we have all these tight ends. We do have DK Metcalf. We are getting our running back back. We are getting 2 starters back on defense. You got to like those things, especially against Cleveland. This is a perfectly placed game for us. After the bye, after their loss overseas, we get to sit around again, get healthy, watch them, and I like our chances. 007 says Steelers are averaging 18 points in the first half. That is a rarity the last 4 years with the likes of Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. John says all teams in the NFL look like they're in preseason mode right now. For the most part, you're right. Except for the couple of these teams that upset some of the better teams. I think they're looking good. I thought New England looked good last night. I really thought so. Tortilla said Ramsey should still be firing up the squad on the sidelines, and I'm betting he is sharing what he sees with the other DBs. Won't be the same, but certainly will certainly help. He is the leader on that defense. I don't think it's vocally for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody could deny that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have to restrain him to keep him away from the sidelines for this game.
Cody says Corey Trice is expected to return. You know what? That's just another body. I'll take it. Because at the end of the games, when we're having issues, Mike, you're down to James Pierre. If you have another body or two, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable.
That's highest rated Steeler
that's
from
true,
last week.
Yeah.
James Pierre. But
Corey Trice is rangy. I certainly like getting him and JPJ at the same time. That's certainly helpful. Next on the terrible board. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, can we take Corey Trice's healthy hamstring transferred over to Jalen Ramsey?
I don't think it works like that, but I would love to.
I think it should work like that. The middle UPMC better get on that shit.
I wonder if while they're doing that, just make his bank account my bank account, and we'll all be happy after that.
No. Well, I don't care about his bank account. I'm worried about the guy.
I don't either. I want the bank accounts for me.
I want Jalen Ramsey out there.
Alan Sack. Hey, what's up, man? Always great seeing you back on the terrible board. Alan says Steelers need to be careful. Browns this week. This is exactly the kind of games they lose. Coming off a big win, heavily favored. Everyone talking them up. Yep, exactly the games. And I agree. I couldn't agree more. Alan, if that's not the Steelers in a nutshell, and this is why I'm hoping that this year is different. Why I'm hoping this year's different. Cody going on with these starters. Jake Browning now he's saying is the GOAT. Of course, these starters around the league or around the AFC North. Tortilla says we got to put money on the Browns to bring the line back to the Steelers as underdogs. And I'm surprised we're not underdogs. They usually make us dogs anyway. And you know what? We keep winning. So Cody says Jamar Chase led the Bengals in tackles for 2 quarters yesterday. You're right. He had 3 catches and 2 tackles, or 4 catches and 3 tackles due to Browning's interceptions thrown. He had somebody said it was Travis. Was it the guy down there in Jacksonville? Travis, the new guy, Mike, the rookie.
Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. They said he has Travis Hunter numbers: 4 catches and 3 tackles. Yeah, it's really bad in Cincinnati. And you know what? As long as they continue to be this bad for another week, we'll take it. See Jamar Chase. Okay. Tortilla says Harbaugh will be coaching with his brothers soon. Choking somewhere else. Phil says that Tortilla Teflon Don won't get juice until he gets a playoff win. Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Mark Malone on the board. Mark's saying Dimes is a hell of a QB. Hey, he's sure looking like it so far. There's nothing in Indianapolis that's showing me that he's not. Maybe he is the quarterback that they said he was before the Giants ruined him. I'm sorry, not Tortilla. Jamal says, sorry, fellas. Wow, you're good, bro. It's all good, man. He follows it up by saying, and F and 26 to start off.
That's just insane. For
Justin Fields, or against teams that score 20 or more points. 0 and 26. That's something, man. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Jamal says, damn, Fields, just retire, dude.
If teams are going to keep paying me money, I'm just keep signing that contract, baby.
I tell you what, this one really, I really agree with you, Mark. Mark Malone says this: Aaron Donald ain't bad either, or not Aaron Donald, Sam Darnold. I'm sorry, Sam
Yeah,
Darnold looks good, man.
yeah.
I
Who
agree.
would have thought he looked terrible?
Like
Terrible.
Sam Darnold looked good in Carolina. Sam Darnold looked good elsewhere. Sam Darnold looks nice. Sam Darnold wasn't he a Jet too? I think he looked
He
good
was
there.
terrible at the Jets. He was drafted by the Jets. He was
But that's where
terrible
I seen
there.
him play, and I realized he was going to be a good quarterback. Yes, he wasn't doing great, but I noticed he was going to be good. And everywhere he went, he played good football.
I just like how Carolina had him and Baker Mayfield at the same
Mike, they had McCaffrey, they had DJ Moore. You could go on about the
Right.
names that Carolina has actually had,
Right.
and they've done nothing with.
And dude, and like the trade that they shipped off for CMC, every pick that they got back, I think the only guy still on their roster is their quarterback, the little midget guy. He's like the only player still on the active roster.
And you just brought up Mayfield. Mayfield was treated like the redheaded stepchild in Cleveland,
Which was
and then he went to Carolina, and they didn't think he was good enough.
they had a running scout team D end.
Mike, this was Baker Mayfield yesterday. He only threw 4 incomplete passes. He went 29 of 33, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has only thrown 1 interception this season.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield. Again, this is somebody who Cleveland thought they were too good for. This is somebody that couldn't hack it in Carolina. Him and Sam Darnold couldn't hack it in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Mike, a big win yesterday, remaining one of the 9 teams in the NFL that only has 1 loss this season. Baker Mayfield, Mike. Again,
like you and I have always sung.
I wish we would have snatched him.
You and I always sung his praises when he was up in Cleveland, like how good of a quarterback he was. And, you know, a lot of Browns fans, even though a lot of Steeler fans were talk shit on him. And if you couldn't see what he had then, you were nuts, because this cat had it. And he wanted to be a Browns quarterback, too. He wanted to be the guy to lead that team into a new era, and they treated him like shit. And it's comical and funny.
Cody says, if anyone understands that situation, it's the Browns. They lose with the first-round quarterbacks all the time. Mark Malone says, remember when my off-season trances were telling you so? Tortilla, he should change to running back. Cody says, Jamal's show was the best part of my Sunday. That show last night was entertaining. I do. I love stopping over Jamal's show. I'm always entertained. Mark Malone, Boston and midget are no good. You know what? Let me just answer that real quick. And I agree. Again, Justin, we said enough bad things about Justin Fields today to understand that he's probably not as good as he was made out to be. But guys, get this. This is Aaron Rodgers versus Justin Fields in their first 4 starts for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is 3-1. Justin Fields was 3-1. Aaron Rodgers has gone 74 of 108. Justin Fields went 77 of 109. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 786 yards. Justin Fields has thrown 830 yards. Aaron Rodgers has thrown for 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, where Justin Fields threw for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but 3 rushing touchdowns, a total of 6 touchdowns. So as much as we're saying about Justin Fields, as much as we're saying about the numbers in the first 4 games from this year and Justin Fields starting here last year in his first 4 games are pretty head-to-head, pretty right on, Mike.
Yeah.
Again, here we are, though. Again, we are 4-1, 3-1 at this point. Justin Fields 0-5, obviously. So, but that kind of puts something into perspective,
yeah,
right?
And like Fields' numbers too. Right now, he's completing 67% of his passes up in New York, 0 interceptions. But dude can't catch a break. He had a pretty good last half of his year. In his last year in Chicago, once they got DJ Moore, those 2 had a great connection. It's just, dude, you go to shit organizations. What do you expect?
Yeah.
You got a shit organization. This is what you're going to get.
Jamal says, we keep it real with the Steeler gang. Tortilla says, teams that start 4-1 have like a 90+% chance to make the playoffs. This game does mean a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I mean, even in the big picture, let's not even talk about the odds of the playoffs. You win this game, you're going to start feeling like we have a football team. How many years has it felt like our team has been ready to go and move forward? You just didn't feel it. You've always hoped that they did. You hoped that it got better. You hope that we won some games, and then we lose 3 games against New England, Indianapolis, and somebody else, and down the stretch. And there's always these stretches. So again, guys, a win this week goes a long way. 4-1. We're heading to Cincy, and then coming back home for 2 games. Big win this weekend, guys, would be huge for the Steeler team moving forward, just in the big picture. I agree. Like I said, Cody, I do. I love stopping by there. I see that you're over there often. I know that you love it, but I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Phil that still says my opinion on the Steelers so far versus the Jets win was lucky versus the Seahawks loss was blah. Just another game versus the Patriots win was okay, cool. But now the real season starts, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that's usually the challenge for our Tomlin coach teams, and we understand that. So again, this Browns game is huge. Who would think you'd say a Browns game is huge? But here we are.
Yeah.
Feel the Steel says also, he says, I forgot the game versus the Vikings, win versus the Vikings. It was like the luck of the Irish. Mark Malone's calling for the big 14-3, the big 14-3 season. Hey, you know what? The year we went 15-1, I didn't think we were going to go 15-1. Ben's rookie year, we beat a New England team that was undefeated. We beat a Philadelphia team that was undefeated in back-to-back weeks that season. I didn't think we were going to win 15 games, but you know what? Who knows, guys? It's always, you can never tell. Stevenson still fumbling football. Geez, I know they got to get rid of his ass.
Keep him, keep him there.
Well, I want him to keep beating the Bills.
Yeah.
Tortilla says Stevenson needs to work with Derpy on hand strength. Our resident hand strength coordinator here. Phil still says that Mark, you got Steelers 4-3. I just crashed into the wall. Imagine what you would do if they really did finish 14-3. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate that. I'm not sure what it was for, but I'll take it. Tortilla says I like 12-5 still. 11-6 is probably more realistic. Mark Malone says Field of Steel. I've had them 14-3 since you really did have them at 14-3 since April. And you also had Mason Rudolph with 35 touchdowns. Is that what it was, Mike?
It's somewhere around there.
It was like 35 touchdowns, or yeah.
Like I had like 4,000, 4,500 yards in that range, and like 30.
So that was with Mason.
With Mason.
But he also, as he says in the next text, he says he did have him started out at 6-0. He did. This is all true. I could remember Mark Malone making these statements. John says Ravens are delusional, and that team with or without Jackson will never win a trophy. The Patriots, however, they may have found their quarterback. I agree. I think Drake May is their guy. And as I said, that team has improved. If you watch the game last night, and even the game where if they don't, fumble 26 times, we only win that game by a few points anyway. So again, they're certainly an improved team. I wouldn't sleep on New England moving forward.
If they get some better wide receivers, team's going to be pretty good.
It's going to get better for them. They're moving in the right direction. And again, they're a good franchise. They've been, before they were the Patriots, a lot of people don't remember, we've always had a hard time in the 90s with the 7-6 playoff win. Then they beat us 28-3 in the playoffs. So Patriots have had a good franchise for quite some time. I don't expect them to stay down too long. As long as when they get their pieces in place, they're going to be good. Phil said, I said 9-8, 8-9 would be the standard. Cody says 11 wins, and we ain't going to play in Buffalo this year. Yeah, we get a home game too. We stay a higher seed. That means that if you're a higher seed, and let's say Buffalo's a high seed, then you're not playing them till further in the playoffs, which gives them more opportunity to lose before you get to Buffalo. Which again, I'm not too proud to take that. If it's going to take Buffalo losing to another team for us to get into the Super Bowl, I am not too proud to take that. I'll take it in a heartbeat. Phil still says that, Mark, you made me crash. I hope you're all right, Phil. It's a lot of crash talk over there, man.
Right? I'm worried, man. We gotta get some rescue crews out there.
Jags are going to come to Pittsburgh instead. Playoff started right now, guys. We have Denver coming to Pittsburgh this weekend.
That would be a fun game.
Field of Steel says that, Mark, as soon as the season ended in 2024, I said, I'm done. I'm done with Tomlin, and as long as he's still coach, I don't care. And then he follows that up by saying, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And for how many years now we don't celebrate at least the conference Jamal says, yo, come on to the show, Ryan and Vanilla. Come to the platform and talk. We're going to, man. We will.
I just
Like I
gotta
said,
find a good kid
I'm
will let me.
I'm not usually at my freshest at that time of the day.
I'm usually at my drunkest at that time of the day.
I've usually reptilianized into my other being, and
I'm usually in fine form.
Cody says Dylan Gabriel looks like he wants a knuckle sandwich. Much less a playoff win. Mark says Phil, I said that too. Mark says he was pissed. Jamal says it gets rowdy and we talk hellish shit. I do have a good time, and it's funny. If you don't mind me mentioning this, I do like watching Jamal because he goes from one blunt to the next. And I find it entertaining because he doesn't stop. And it's great because he's smoking his blunt and then he puts it down, and next thing you know, there's a whole nother blunt in his hand. So again, it is overall entertaining, and I do enjoy watching it.
Reminds me of our beginning days on the show, Ryan.
It really, he goes from one to the next to the next. I don't know how many blunts he smokes during the course of the show. But let's see. Also, Tortilla says Jukins is playing like a top 10, maybe a top 5 running back. We need to stop him and force them to throw. Their defense will probably shut us down. Bill Steele says, I'm a real Steeler fan, real black and gold. I want my Steelers to kick ass and get respect from the NFL. Darn it. Right now, we are the freaking one-eyed patchers and cowgirls. No respect. Jamal says, I need at least a 12-pack gone by the time you come. The fans want rated R Ryan. I do. I get that, man. We can do that for. I swear we could make that happen. He does follow it up by saying that defense does look tough. Buffalo losing to the Patriots makes us the best team in the. You know what? In a weird kind of way, we're up there. In a weird kind of way, we're certainly a lot better than that basement dwelling team that they expected us to be. And again, what are they going to say? Oh, we don't got our quarterback. Our quarterback's hurt. Guess what? F you. Duck Hodges. That's all I got to say. Duck Hodges should be translation of F you. Anytime anybody mentions anything about quarterbacks to us. Right here. Jamal says Patrick Queen did leave a hint on the Instagram that we are bringing in a receiver. You know what? Somebody said that too as well, Mike. One of the reporters said they're expecting the Steelers are going to make a move. Still, again, just a little less than a month till the trade deadline, but they said they're not expecting it to be any more than what a Mike Williams trade was for us last year. It's going to be a rental. Don't expect big numbers, but I also did hear that they are possibly going to be bringing in another receiver.
I believe it when I see it.
Cody says he yelled, "Run, Jordan." Jamal, the reason is they suck. I have Corey Trice starting after Slay retires. Vegas, what's good, dude? Always great seeing Vegas on the board. He says Pat, my homeboy, needs 1 point, and Pittsburgh goes to 5-0.
Oh, for the fantasy football.
Okay. Vegas says Mercury Morris is singing and dancing in his grave about being the only undefeated team. That's true. They're all done. Baker Mayfield is a dog. I couldn't agree more. I would have loved to have him as a Steeler. Phil said, hold on, Ryan and Richard, losers. Again, I don't know how that plays out. If we could be right now, I didn't look at it long and hard. I looked at it long enough to realize that everybody did not do well. But there is still one more game, so we'll get into the CBS Pick'ems tomorrow. Once that game is over, the Chiefs do travel to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars tonight on Monday Night Football. Cody says Baker Mayfield is one of the best quarterbacks I'd have a blast partying with on a Sunday. I bet he goes hard in the paint. Yeah, he does, man. He's just a little beast, dude. A little beast that a couple of dumb teams really look past, and I think Tampa Bay is very thankful that happened. Somber says we were one-dimensional with Fields. Stats don't tell the whole story, unfortunately. You're right. There's a lot of things that I certainly this. I'll take that from Aaron Rodgers over Justin Fields. I'm not saying that Justin Fields is a dumb guy. I'm saying what Rodgers knows is exceptional, being who he is just in NFL history. He's a smart quarterback. No two ways about it. Vegas says the defense played much better when Fields was the quarterback first this season. So far, you're right. The defense kind of fell off, but you know what? They went out and got the players. I can't count that defense out, Mike. Again, I still think they're going to get better every week. You're going to get your rookie Harmon's going to get better. Still, you're going to get Benton if he continues to play like he did last week. And these linebackers and the secondary guys, this is one of the better defenses in the league, as it should be for the money that we paid out. I still think that it is. They have yet to play their best game, so that's a good sign too, Mike, knowing that should be coming up in the future. Vegas says the defense play much better. Okay, we did get that. Cody says Le'Veon Bell should have told Fields to go to the Jets to kill your career. So many guys go there to just die. It's unbelievable what goes on with the Jets.
It's comical, man. Like at one point, they literally were a quarterback away from being a pretty damn good team. And they signed Aaron Rodgers, and then his Achilles blows out, and then he comes in demanding everything, and they acquiesce to it, and then they shit the bed.
Fearless still says, oh, crap, if KC loses, I could be the biggest loser. You know what? It may happen, but I'm rooting for KC because that brings everybody down a little bit. Jacksonville is 3-1. If they lose, they'll be 3-2. Of course, that'll make KC 3-2, but again, it keeps people down as far as behind us. I don't know. I'm taking Kansas City tonight, at least for tonight. Mark Malone says Buston can't throw a touchdown. Mark Malone says that's why he can't win when he gets behind by 20 points. Crazy statistic. Vegas says Mark Malone says he simply doesn't have the brain power to put it in the end zone. Marilyn Ames, I do want to say welcome to the show. Merlin Ames. Merlin said how Steeler fans have changed their mind about Rodgers. Everyone thought that he was a selfish, arrogant diva, not even close. And you know what? I'm guilty. I'm right there with everybody that you were talking to. I thought it was going to be a circus, but you know what? This is probably the best decision at this point that the Steelers could have made. There's other things they could have did, I think, as other quarterbacks moved around the country. But this is probably the best case scenario, Mike, that we could possibly have made, I think.
Yeah, and him not being on the McAfee show every Monday, yapping like he did at the end of Green Bay and his time with the Jets. And then, because I think Tomlin still goes on there and speaks every once in a while too, so you don't have that conflicting message. So he's stayed inside the structure of the way the Steelers operate. And that was the key thing. Would he be able to operate within the way the Steelers do things? And, we saw when he went to the Jets, and he kind of ran the show there the last year. Get this guy, get this guy, get this guy, and it fell apart, where that was the big worry when he was coming here. And there's been none of that. He's fallen in line with the team and been a team player. And, it's surprising because the track record was showing the tail end of his Green Bay career and the time with the Jets. It was all about Aaron. Now it's all about the team. So maybe he is gearing up for this is his last ride. And he's bought into like, hey, I'm not the guy I once was, but I still got things I can do out there to help the team win. And that's what I'm going to focus on.
Like a Jerome Bettis ending. The guy had an amazing career. He wasn't so great that final year. As a matter of fact, he almost fumbled. Fumbled his.
He was fumbled the season away.
But you know what I'm saying, Mike? It just may be. And I'll certainly take it in a heartbeat. It just might be Aaron Rodgers' ride-off season, and I will happily take that, Mike, as it was a lot of fun with Jerome. I wouldn't certainly. I don't think it would change at all if it was Aaron Rodgers. Even if he didn't play his whole career like Bettis did, we'll certainly take a Super Bowl no matter how it comes. Vegas says, my mom changed her mind on Aaron for sure. You know what? A lot of people did, and I think Merlin hit it right on the head. This was not what we expected. People, as Mike said, you seen the way his career was kind of sizzling. You thought that this might be the end. How good could he possibly play in Pittsburgh? And a lot of times, guys, it's the leadership. It's the things that he knows up here, and he's doing just good enough, Mike, with his arm to be making it happen. Again,
he seems bought in.
He seems bought in, and he said he was, Vegas says, we are not the Clippers. We don't hang division champ banners. Cody says, me, Mike, and Baker Mayfield are going to party on Sunday. There you go.
Hell yeah, brother.
I don't know if I'd want to be in any party with this one over here, but you know what? Who knows? It might be a fun time.
I am a blast at parties. I make sure everyone has a good time.
Let's see. Jamal says, laugh my ass off. I'm about to take a break. Y'all pray for my poor lungs. Jamal, again, love your show, man. I really do. Mark Malone says 4,235 touchdowns for Mason. That was the numbers that he was predicting, Mike.
I knew it was in that range.
And he says he's partying with Manziel. Yeah, where's Manziel been?
Oof.
Johnny Football.
Manziel in that fucking blow up. What was it peacock, flamingo, or stork, or whatever the fuck he had jumping into the pool? Oh, the swan! It was a swan. Eventually, I get to the right fucking flock of seagulls.
Somber says, "Man, it feels good seeing 24, 56, and 30 at practice. It sure does. You know, and the thing is, you just want your guys healthy. You just want the best chance that you have to win, and then getting your guys back at it, and that's where we're at. I love seeing, as you said, Joey Porter Jr., Highsmith, and Jalen Warren all expected to be back this week. And again, Calvin Austin III's tests being negative is a good sign as well. I really want Jalen Ramsey back in the lineup, but again, you got to start somewhere. You got to crawl before you walk, and that's what we're doing right now. We're getting people back that were out prior. So, you know, they'll make a difference. Field of Steel says that Merlin Rogers is about to play versus real tough teams, which is the AFC North. Not easy. It's true. It's true. We talked about that before, Michael. Teams that don't know the AFC North. I said don't sleep on the AFC North, and Aaron Rodgers got to understand that as well.
Well, you know, that Vikings defense, though, is also supposed to be one of the top defenses in the league, so complex you can't figure it out. Aaron Rodgers did pretty good. He did pretty well against them. Of course, so did a rookie Dylan Gabriel.
I'm going to say, Vikings defense isn't quite what it was last year, or the team overall wasn't.
And for like the way it was supposed to be, oh my God, they're disguising all their coverages, blah blah blah. Like Aaron Rodgers and Arthur Smith figured them out real quick. We're just going to let play clock go down to 1 because you're going to have to get set by the time I snap the ball, and I know where you're going to be. So.
Vegas says how you get caught rolling up money in a bathroom in Vegas. Everyone knows you don't do that in front of a stranger. He says, follows it up by saying it'll be nice when they figure out their best rotation on the defensive line.
Benton keeps playing the way he's been playing.
How he played last week.
Played last week.
I wasn't really singing home after the first 3 games.
Yeah, but that last week, that's what I meant right there. And then if Cam's playing the way he did the last 2 weeks, now you have a nice starting 3, then you have a good rotation behind him.
Well, if you look at PFF, Mike, this week they have Cam. Cam makes the list of PFF's top pass rushers once again. TJ Watt not on the list. So apparently Cam, in somebody's eyes, is doing great things. Again,
they only pay attention to the good games with Cam. I've learned that.
They don't watch his games where he doesn't get
where he does bad. They don't say anything about him. They only focus on the good. When he's good, he is good. Don't get me wrong, but when he's bad, he's almost non-existent out there.
Right here. Tortilla says Fields is fun to watch. The highlights. Fields is fun to watch the highlights. Rogers. Jamal says, "Hey, when you're married, a lot of weeds." Oh, I agree. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. I'm just saying I enjoy watching it. I have nothing against it, as a matter of fact. I'm all for it. But I again, to see Jamal's blunt process as the show begins, you see the blunt, and then it gets smaller, and then smaller, and then he reaches over and another one. The blunt never stops. It's constant through the whole episode.
It's like me when I decide I'm going to drink for a Friday episode. They just keep flowing. And I'm sorry. It makes me feel like I'm having a better time. I have a great time, but once I start drinking, I'm in like another stratosphere of having a good time.
Scott Atkins, I do want to say welcome back. Always great seeing Scott on the board. He says Steelers have a chance to score when they get their chances against Cleveland and Cincy. They can't play tight in the red zone. And you know what? We've been doing good in the red zone this year. So I hope that carries over, guys. And again, just keep getting them reps in, get these wins against these 2 Ohio teams. And again, you have Green Bay and Indianapolis both coming to Pittsburgh, guys, which I think is a big thing. You're not playing at Lambeau and you're not playing at the RCA Dome where they pump the sound in and all that kind of stuff. So those 2 games I think are big at home for us. So starting again, that means nothing if you shit the bed against Cleveland. So obviously it will mean something still. But again, this is a big game. Like, you win this game against Cleveland, I think that, again, you then go to a very, very poor playing Cincinnati right now. This team is playing just as bad as you could possibly imagine. Yes, they did tack on some points at the end of the game yesterday against Detroit, I think it was. But, Mike, still not enough to make me believe that Cincinnati is going to be any bit of a challenge for anybody the rest of the year, not just us. So Cleveland, baby. It's Browns. We keep them in the crosshairs. Get ready. Make sure you win this football game. Vegas says Aaron will be back next year. If he doesn't, Mac Jones will be the bridge QB. It's hard to say what's going on. It's hard to say what's going to happen next because about 10 things. You don't know if Aaron's going to retire. How far we get in the playoffs this year might determine on if Aaron retires. 3, are we still going to have Mason Rudolph sitting on the shelf? Who knows what they're going to do with him. 4, you have the rookie that you just drafted is the national championship winning Will Howard. And 5, the draft will be here, which we're predicted to take a quarterback high. So a lot of things go into that. I really do believe a lot of things are going to go into figuring out what our quarterback situation is going to be next year. And it's not going to be easy to figure out at this point for sure.
It's not too, and I think what is it this week? We have to figure out if we're taking Will Howard off the IR.
Yeah,
is it this week or like I know we can start the process. We have like X amount of days to do it, so it's going to be interesting there too because he hasn't been able to physically practice, but he's been doing like a lot of like film study and presentations on the opposing defense, and so he's staying engaged mentally. But right now he can't physically work, so it's going to be interesting his development down because he was supposed to be. He was drafted in the same round as Dylan Gabriel was, I believe. Or no, Gabriel was a third round pick. Never mind. But like Will Howard, though, teams had him anywhere between a third, fourth round pick. We get him on like the 6th round. Can he be one of those guys that can be a quarterback that can lead you to a championship just by playing clean football? We don't know. A lot of ways to go. And Mac Jones, who saw this resurgence, but is that because of Mac Jones, the player, or the system they have out there in San Francisco?
It's the system. Believe me, Mike. It's the same system that makes Brock Purdy look good. I don't know. Put these other guys somewhere else. Let's see if they get the same results. But we do got to move on. We got a lot to get through, Mike, and still a lot of messages we're trying to catch up on. I do want to go back on this one where Jamal says this. I can just scroll down a hair. All right. He says, she'll nag. I'll pretend to hear it. It just works. Again, with the blunts, I totally understand. I'm in total.
Well, whatever gets you through the day, brother, right?
He then goes on to say it. Scott, 2 words, Darnell Washington. The red zone. We got to see more Darnell Washington in the red zone.
Because right now for touchdown only, counting that percentage, we're 8th in the NFL at 69.23.
Merlin says some of the trash against the Rodgers was media driven as well. They didn't like his openness and wanted to take him down. And you know what? A lot of listen, me too. Like I was in this group of people that just thought he was going to be a distraction. I thought it was going to be more about Aaron, and it hasn't been any of that. Aaron's been all in. He's been a great leader. He's been a great teammate. He's been a great player. I mean, again, I think best case scenario for what we could have had this year. Maybe we could have did a couple other things. I like a couple other names that moved this year, but for what it is, guys, I don't think we could complain about what Aaron Rodgers is getting done in Pittsburgh. I think we should be excited, actually.
And for $10 million, it's more than a bargain. We've more than gotten the $10 million worth out of Aaron Rodgers so far this year.
Another blue light special found by the con,
and that allowed us company to get some other players to fill out the roster.
Vegas says 30 days with no smoke will help your lungs out tremendously. Jamal says Manziel is on nightcap with Unk and Ocho. Really, pretty awesome.
That's right. Oh my God, there's a threesome.
I haven't seen Johnny in a while. He was one of my favorite Cleveland quarterbacks, just because he was. You knew it wasn't going to get better with him. You knew it was just.
It was always going to get
disaster.
Worse.
That is the mistake by the lake. So I like.
I love how they monitored his league or team issued iPad to see how much time he would watch. It was like 0% study time, and they still put him out there to play and start.
Jamal says, I'm kind of upset Calvin Austin came back negative. I was hoping to be forced into making a move for receiver. You know what? And it just makes you, I mean, there's just not much out there. There's just not much out there. And some of these teams we're hoping for. I mean, a lot of people were hoping on Tyreek Hill, and you've seen his legs snap in half.
I don't mean to laugh at his injury, but yeah.
And then again, the Saints winning a football game. Who knows what's going to happen to them over the next month? Are they going to want to move players in at the deadline? And the Raiders still with one win. I'm sorry, you think that Jacoby Myers might be available. So again, we will see. But I definitely get what you're saying, man. Mark Malone says, I didn't even need to go into a trance to tell you Rodgers would be a stand-up guy. I didn't know what to expect. Again, the end of his career, I thought it was going to be more about him. I thought it was going to be the Aaron Rodgers send-off season, which it kind of is in a way, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Felix still says the Vikes aren't in the AFC North. Vanilla AFC North games are no joke, he says.
No joke.
Ain't no joke. Scott Atkins says, as much as I like Calvin Austin, the Steelers have to trade for another weapon outside opposite of DK. This will prevent defenses from lowering their coverages. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to. It helps coverage and helps free people up by having somebody else in there that's considered a top, not even a top, just a number 2 receiver. That's all. Vegas says, who's the best wide receiver on the worst team? Jamal or Chase, I would say.
Yeah. T. Higgins might be available.
T. Higgins might be available. They're not doing nothing. Jamal says, does anyone see Y.A. Black? Absolutely. I love Y.A. Black. As a matter of fact, I hope he's – I was hoping he was going to start over Benton. But since Benton looked good yesterday, I'm still all about let's rotate him and see who gets the most production. But I love Black. I love his size.
Yeah.
Olave, you know what? I guess he would be one of the bigger options. But again, the Saints won. So now they may think that they have a chance.
Yeah.
Again, Mike, only the teams with 500 records or better in the AFC are in playoff spots. Every team that is not in a playoff spot is under 500. So maybe some of these dumb teams, some of these bad teams, they might think they have a chance and might not be giving up their Olaves or their Jacobys. And, unfortunately, that might be the way it plays. But again, guys, the rumor in Pittsburgh is that we may be going after a wide receiver. So
we got cap space to make a move.
We do. We've had cap space and we could have made moves, but that's the reason it's making me think that we're not going to, because we've waited 2 seasons not to even make the move anyway. So again, I don't know what they're doing there.
Like I wouldn't mind Olave. It's just the concussions with him.
Oh, you know what? We're dealing with injuries anyway.
Yeah, well, if we're getting a rental, I really don't want my rental player to come in and.
Well, consider the rental we had last year did very well. His first game here, Mike Williams caught the game.
We never saw him again
against Washington.
Yeah.
We didn't even give him a chance. So it's hard to say at this point. Mark Malone says, no, Mike Rogers has always been the same. You just got sucked in by the Jews media.
I just listened to the words come out of his mouth. Like unfiltered. This is what he said verbatim.
What?
No, Aaron Rodgers.
What he said?
I would just hear what he would say the past 3 years when he go on Pat McAfee show. So unfiltered Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, that's what I base my opinion on.
I never watched him on that show, but I hear a lot about it. Jamal says, yeah, Snoop is my cousin. Just call me Jamal Dog. Jamal, where are you at? I was kind of curious. I heard you and your dude talking the other day on his show. I gathered that he was from New Orleans, from the Louisiana area. Where are you from? I was kind of just curious. Just by the conversation, I couldn't tell where you're out of. Mark Malone says Mac is another good quarterback. Scott Atkins says Steelers will be the number 1 seed after beating the Chargers, the Colts, and the Bills this season. I can't wait to hear the media bandwagoners. Boy, if we beat those teams, I'm going to feel really freaking good.
Ooh.
If we beat 2 of those teams, I'm going to feel really good. I'm going to be honest with you. Mark Malone says those were my 3 off-season targets, Danny Dimes, Darnold, and Mack. Mark Malone says Malone knows QBs. He knows mustaches and he knows QBs. Tortilla says I'd even run the jet sweep with Washington and have an extra tackle in. Let him fall forward for 16 yards.
He probably could.
For sure. Vegas says, does Cleveland still have a bunch of LeBron picks up? Who knows? I think so. Weirdos. Jamal says, that's funny. Me and Vanilla both laugh about the break.
It's just like, I see it. It's like, I just can't help but laugh. Because the human body's not supposed to bend that way. And then he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have to play down here no more with these fucking idiots. I don't have Tua throwing me murder balls. All right.
And they're just, I mean, that's their strength as they're passing, and they're not scoring any points. If you look at their standings, Mike, their offense is terrible. They're not scoring any points. Right? They're done. They just,
Mike McDaniels is not a head coach. He's an offensive
way to waste Tyreek Hill.
And who's the other receiver they have down there? I always forget his
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. Yeah, I almost said Devontae, but he's up in Philly. Yeah, Jalen Waddle. We're wasting his career too.
Waddle. Phil still says that. Scott Wayne says Shaw as if monkeys might fly out of my butt. Jamal says, man, F LeBron, made outfit wearing ass. Also follows it up by saying, when you see Superman in a tutu, it makes you feel some type of way. Vegas says, we can't get Chase for sure. Wouldn't that be something, though? Aaron would come back for sure next year if Omar pulled that off. I would love it. Speaking of, we often complain about this because we did have 2 elite receivers for 13 seconds in the offseason. Did anybody see George Pickens is the first Cowboy in Cowboy history to have 5 touchdowns in his first 5 games as a Cowboy?
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, the Cowboys got a pretty rich history like we do, guys.
Yeah, is CD still playing, or is he hurt?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I heard I don't know if he played yesterday. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Because once he comes back, I look for he was out, so I figure once CD comes back, George Pickens' targets will go down, and then we'll see crash out George again.
You know what, though? They're going to be, they're going to pull back because they're going to be a pullback just because they are finding how effective George Pickens really is. Maybe his numbers won't drop that drastically. Maybe they'll actually just turn into a really good passing team. If they were smart and knew what they were doing, that should be what they do. AJ Brown is a name that you've been hearing lately. Jamal, same here, but again, I just don't know how much I could put into that. I just don't know how much. I mean, I would take AJ Brown in half a second. I just don't know how realistic that is. I mean, I understand they're having issues over there, but that just seems too good to be true to me. AJ Brown, Mike?
I would take that in a heartbeat. I don't know his contract situation, but give me AJ Brown. Hell, give me DJ Moore out of Chicago. I'd take him.
I mean, if we could pull that shit, dude, I think we would be in fantastic shape.
Right? Like, I wanted DJ Moore last year, especially after we picked up Fields. I thought, find a way to lure DJ Moore away from there because they had a connection. But I've liked DJ Moore ever since he was down in Carolina. He was a good receiver. Someone on the board said Burden. I don't know. Chicago would trade him just because they drafted him this year. But like, my guy that I would love is Nico Collins. Yeah, he's kind of similar to DK Metcalf.
They're winning football now. They're playing.
I know, right? They had to go beat Baltimore for us. I appreciate it, but my God,
they beat Baltimore by that much. I'm pretty much guaranteed
they would never trade
Nico Collins.
They would never trade him anyway. But like, if maybe Jacoby Myers, but I know he wants a new contract. But if you can convince him to come here as a rental for the year, or hey, come here, put up some good numbers, go out, get your money elsewhere, make a run for a championship here, that I would not be opposed to going out and getting him.
Vegas is saying put one of those, 1 or 2 of those Nerf caps on Olave with his concussion. Jabril Peppers
has one, yeah.
Okay.
Put a shit ton of bubble wrap around his head too. He'll be fine.
Jamal says we were all brothers and sisters. That's right, man. I'm a firm believer in that. Tortilla says, I've never seen a leg with CTE before. That was crazy. Cody says, so I've been banging my cousin. Why don't we don't know who you're banging, but
it's like Joe Dirt. Fucking my sister.
But yeah, I guess it's sort of the same in a weird way, but not really. Scott says Steelers need to game plan around Garrett. Don't let him wreck the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Yes, we did split with the Browns last year, but you know what? They had Garrett against our line was in worse shape than they were this year, I think, Mike. With we had injuries where guys were out all year. You had guys playing as rookies.
Yeah,
they managed a way to beat Cleveland at one time. Beat Myles Garrett last year.
Yeah, like there's years where like we shut them down with Dan Moore.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's possible to do it, but it's the way I've been watching him shoot the gap this year between the guard and the center, or I'm sorry, the tackle in the guard, and the way Seumalo's been slow getting off blocks. Like, I'm more worried about Seumalo than I am about Broderick Jones this game. And that's where I think the issue is going to be, is Myles Garrett does that little outside-inside move and shoots the gap, and the guard's supposed to pick it up. I don't think Seumalo can pick that up. Like, we got to keep a running back there.
Somber says yak monster like Burden would be a nice fit for right about now. You know, I like Booty. Anybody else impressed with that Booty up in New England?
Booty touched his booty.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want a guy named Booty on your team, right? Fearless still says they have a very good I'm not sure what he's saying on that one. They have a very good on Alice. Phil, I'm sorry, that was Phil. And then okay, right here. They have a very good offensive coordinator in Dallas. I got you.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Jamal says, damn, I told you GP was going to be a top 10 receiver. CD is still out. Mark Malone says, shit, I thought Des Bryant got off to a hot start.
Yeah. Yeah. When he came in the league, he was fire.
Vegas says Vikings held Garrett to just 3 tackles. Hopefully he won't do better than that this Sunday. And you know he's going to play out of his mind. He's playing the Steelers. I don't expect him not to do anything.
This is his Super Bowl, going up against the Steelers. And
you just have to weather the storm. Weather the storm and do what you do. Darius Slayton.
He's another one I wouldn't mind.
He's an option. Is that team continues to fumble around.
Right.
Jamal says, yeah, it does seem too good to be true. I would love it, though. Believe me, dude. I would take Brown in a second. Somber says, I just meant a player like him would be nice. Of course, They wouldn't trade that. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sorry about that, bro.
My bad. I misread the comment. That's all me. I made the mistake.
Mark Malone says, if we could get AJ, we should absolutely. I don't know if there's a person alive that wouldn't take AJ Brown.
I will trade Derpy's left nut for AJ Brown.
We've already traded that for something before. I think he only has the right left.
Okay, we'll trade the right for him then.
Mark Malone, if we could get AJ, we should do it. AJ for Highsmith, absolutely, yes. If any, yes, I wouldn't change my mind on that. Yes, AJ Brown for Alex Highsmith in a heartbeat. Just because Herbig isn't showing any signs that he can't play outside linebacker in this league, and he's been weathering the storm on the run game over the past couple of weeks where Highsmith was out. Where that was the question: should we have Herbig in on the pass and Highsmith on the run? Herbig's been doing it all and still being very, very productive. I would take that because Mike, I wasn't even a big Highsmith fan when they wanted to give him the money. I said he's solid, but I don't know. Yeah. I would still.
And my only concern is by trading Highsmith, Herbig and Watt do get banged up too. They do miss time.
Mike Highsmith has been out for 3 straight seasons.
I know Herbig missed a decent chunk of time last year too. Watt the year before that.
So you want 3 guys that are out all the time?
Yeah, but they're never all out at the same time.
Highsmith has been out with the same groin for 3 straight years for long periods of time.
I'm just saying.
I would do it. Yes, AJ for Highsmith in a heartbeat. Phil still says, what about this Garrett didn't go 100% because he saved his energy for this week?
Wouldn't surprise me.
But you know what?
Like I said, this is his Super Bowl. He's going up against TJ Watt.
He's going to do what he does. He always does. There's nothing that makes me think that he's not. You just have to weather the storm and continue on. He gets a sack. Jamal says, AJ for Moot, Roman 3rd and 5th. Let's make it happen. Roman, Moot. Yeah, why not? None of them we're not using any of those anyway.
None of them are producing.
Fudge. Dude, hell yeah. Vegas says, that's not a good look for him, but if that is real, then I hope Arthur makes sure more than one guy puts hands on Miles every play. Jamal says, knowing Cody, he probably knew it was his cousin before he banged him.
Damn, shots fired.
These two, though, you got it. These two are good. Yeah, I always see Cody over there.
Oh, my God.
They definitely make me laugh. Somber says, Garrett has 3 tackles against the Vikings. No other statistics. Wow, that wasn't even a stat. I see one play where he caught the quarterback from behind, but the quarterback must have been past the line of scrimmage. They didn't get a sack. Tortilla says we should trade for Roman Wilson. We could probably get him cheap. This team doesn't use him. Cody says, I like Booty. Somber says, depends how thick the booty is. And according to what Jamal's saying, it depends on what gender the booty is as well. But hey, man, whatever you want to do, that's on you, bro. Phil the Steel says that's what they do to Watt every week. Tortilla says Giants lost Neighbors for the year. I doubt they trade Slayton. Yeah, no, you're right, especially with Dart. They're trying to do some things, I guess. Phil the Steel Vanilla, I would trade you for AJ Brown. Oh,
What the hell, brother?
ooh.
The hell?
Tortilla says I'll trade the entire city of Cleveland for AJ Brown. I'm liking these trades. I mean, between Derpy's right nut, you and the city of Cleveland, Mike, we could have a good chance of getting AJ Brown here,
Well,
man.
if I get traded, I can no longer be on the show. I got to do a Philly podcast.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Somber.
So everyone's gonna be shipping me out the door. I didn't think that through.
Yeah,
I kind of play.
Calm down, everybody. Stop telling Mike no, not to make this move. Come on. Somber says, what about a guy like Nelson Aguilar for a vet minimum? Where is Aguilar at? Is he?
I don't know
He
where
was in Baltimore, right? But
I don't know. I just know like the time when he was in Philly, I saw this clip. A building caught on fire and they were having to toss little kids out the window. And the guy was like, yeah, man, we were catching them babies, unlike Aguilar, who drops the ball all the time. So if my firefighters don't want Aguilar to catch babies, I don't know if I want him on my team catching football. So I've always had that negative connotation with Nelson Aguilar.
All right, catching babies.
He's on the couch. Okay.
Cody says, you know that the Browns organization sucks when they drafted 2 quarterbacks and no offensive linemen.
Right?
Gluteus Maximus. Vegas is saying FAJ vanilla for life is what Jamal's saying.
Thank you, Jamal.
So you got a little resistance there, and he's on the couch, as Mike just said. And hey, we need a wide receiver too. F it. Bye, vanilla.
You know what? Still, I can respect that. Still, anything for the team to win. I respect that, but I'll miss you guys.
Guys, let's get into some of the other things, Mike, around the league. Yesterday, McCaffrey joins Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Emmitt Smith, Eric Dickerson, and Jim Brown as the only players with 11,000 yards or more from scrimmage and 80 or more touchdowns in their first 100 games. McCaffrey joins the likes of Emmitt, LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, Eric Dickerson, and Jim Brown.
Not when you're mentioned with those cats, not a bad career.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to him. He's been nothing but good. And again, he had to spend time in Carolina, so it wasn't exactly off to the best start as an NFL player. What else do we got here, Mike? This one here, guys, a lot of people caught this over the weekend. I still don't know entirely what happened, but Mark Sanchez stabbed in an altercation by a 69-year-old truck driver in an Indianapolis alley, which resulted in criminal charges against Mark Sanchez. The guy that got the butt tackle. He got tackled by a butt, you remember?
Butt fumble
when he was a Jet. Mark Sanchez stabbed multiple times in an altercation with a 69-year-old truck driver in an Indianapolis alley, which resulted in criminal charges against Sanchez. I still don't know what the hell to make of that story, Mike. But last week, our backup quarterback, of course, Skylar Thompson, being attacked overseas in Ireland, and then this week, another quarterback, Mike, Mark Sanchez, attacked pretty seriously, apparently.
Yeah, he was all liquored up, kept going in this guy's truck and shit like that. Tried to, kept coming aggressively at the guys. The guy stabbed him.
Is that what it was? He was.
He was the aggressor. The guy stabbed him. Was defending himself.
Tortilla saying the butt stabbing.
So that's what Ian Peach does to Derpy.
So that's again, 2 weeks in a row, attacks on quarterbacks, guys. Let's see what else do I got? Let's see what else I got here. I got something. I don't know what it is. Oh, this story kind of caught my attention, guys. This was kind of out of nowhere. Cody says Mark Sanchez was blowing the truck driver in an alleyway. This one kind of caught my attention. Just because people talk about the development of players here in Pittsburgh. Josh Dobbs coming out over the weekend talking about the Steelers' development issues that they have here. I guess he was asked about Caleb Johnson and Roman Wilson. And Josh Dobbs says he had no clue what he was supposed to be, what he was being asked to do as a quarterback for the Steelers when he was here. And I got to say, Josh Dobbs is a smart guy. He's a rocket scientist, this guy. He says he had no clue what I was being asked to do in Pittsburgh. You know what, Mike? And that makes you wonder. We never really had to see the Steelers develop a quarterback with under Mike Tomlin. He came into Ben. He had Ben for a long time. And since then, the quarterback situation's certainly developing them. That hasn't been pretty, Mike. So again, for Dobbs to come out and say this, I thought it was kind of interesting, and it gives a lot of validity to what people were saying. When it comes to some of the development on this team. And as I said, you could look at people like Caleb Johnson and Roman Wilson and wonder, what's going on with their development as Roman sits another year.
Yeah.
Again, Josh Dobbs raising questions in the Steeler locker room, guys.
Raising questions.
Guys, let's go through the scores of what happened over the weekend. Of course, the game on Thursday night was the 49ers over the Rams, 26-23. The 9:30 game on Sunday, the Vikings 21, the Browns 17. The Cowboys win 37-22 over the Jets. The Giants, they take an L to the Saints. The Saints win 26-14. The Colts improved to 4-1 with their 40-0 or 40-6. It might as well have been 40-0, 40-6 win over the Raiders. The Panthers getting a win over the Dolphins. Those Dolphins are just really showing us who they are. Like the Dolphins lose again to the Panthers, 27-24. The Broncos with an upset over the Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl champions of last year. They lose to the Broncos 21-17. The Houston Texans, probably my favorite game of the weekend, 44. The Baltimore Ravens 10. The Titans get their first win, Mike. Are they no longer ass? They beat the Cardinals at the very end of the game, 22-21.
All you need is your starting quarterback to tell you out.
Hey, the Buccaneers, Mike, a big game between two teams that were 3-1. Mike, the Buccaneers 38, Seattle 35. This game should have been a lot more of a blowout. I didn't watch it, but I assumed that a lot of these were shit points. The Lions won 36-24. They were up even larger than that till in the second half, so I assume that's what happened there. The Commanders with Jaden Daniels back, the team that just went to the NFC Championship last year, they get the win over the Chargers 27-10. And, of course, the big game last night, the one that I think kind of opened the door for 31 other teams in the NFL this year, was the Bills losing to the Patriots, guys, 23-20. Patriots kick a field goal with about 10 seconds left. Buffalo didn't have a chance to do anything. They played it perfectly. And again, the week wraps up tonight as the Chiefs travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, Mike. The standings look like this in our division. The only one that matters is where we're going to start. Steelers 3-1. Mike, the Bengals 2-3 in second place. The Ravens and the Browns both tied in the basement at 1-4. Over in the East, it's going to be interesting, Mike, because now that the Bills lose to the Patriots, they're only at one game ahead of New England. Bills are 4-1. Patriots are 3-2. Dolphins are 1-4. Jets are 0-5. No wonder New England was good for so long, all those years. All Tom Brady had to do was beat the Jets,
right?
The Bills for all those years, and then the Dolphins. It isn't like our division exactly is easy. The AFC North always considered tough. Mike, the AFC East looks the AFC West, has the Chargers up top 3-2. The Broncos with their win up top 3-2. They're tied in first place. The Chiefs can make it a three-way tie by beating Jacksonville tonight. They are 2-2, and the Raiders 1-4. And I do know that Geno Smith did move into the league for interceptions over yesterday's game, Mike. And finally, the AFC South, the Colts 4-1. Jacksonville could be 4-1 with a win tonight over Kansas City. They sit at 3-1. The Texans improved to 2-3 with their win over the Ravens. And finally, the Titans, again, getting their first win of the season, Mike. They're sitting in the basement with a 1-4 record. Let's hop over to the NFC for just a moment. To our North counterpart, the NFC North sees the Lions at 4-1 in first place. Second place, the Packers 2-1-1. Again, Mike, they lost the game to Cleveland, then they tied. So Green Bay 2-1-1. Vikings 3-2, sitting in third place, and the Bears in the basement with the 2-2 record. They also had a weekend off this week, like we did. The NFC East, the Eagles 4-1, the Commanders 3-2, Cowboys 2-2-1, and the Giants in the basement at 1-4. The NFC South, Buccaneers 4-1. And Mike, I got to be honest with you, with Baker Mayfield, it's no surprise. I think they win this division right now, even at 5 games in. I don't know if any of these teams could hang with Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay in that division. Falcons are 2-2. Panthers are 2-3. Saints 1-4. And finally, Mike, that NFC West division, the San Francisco 49ers somehow made their way to 4-1. The Seahawks sitting at 3-2. Tied with them is the Rams 3-2. I'm going to be a big Rams fan this week as they travel to Baltimore. And finally, Mike, the Cardinals, after losing their starting running back last week and James Conner, they are only sitting at 2-3 in the basement. But guys, as I went through these, everybody is in theory still in it. And again, we're heading toward, it's going to be a third of the way through the season as we hit next week. Guys, as I said, I think Buffalo's loss and Philadelphia's loss kind of gave a lot of teams a little extra hope, Mike.
Yeah, a lot of teams. They've got pulled back to the pack a little bit. They were in danger of starting to pull away from the field, and I only count like maybe 7 teams out of it at this point. Like eight or 9 if you count the Ravens out of it. But yeah, there's still a lot of pretty good teams left in here. I don't think there's a juggernaut in the league like when Kansas City was running for their little stretch, or like when we saw with New England. I think it's wide open this year as to who's going to be there at the end.
As of right now, Mike, this is what the AFC playoffs look like as of right now. And of course, we understand it's not going to happen for a while. But as of right now, because we are in this moment right now, so I'm going to say this: the number 1 seed in the AFC is the Colts, 4-1, Mike. The number 2 seed in the AFC is the Buffalo Bills. Number 3 seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 4 is the Chargers. Number 5 is the Jaguars. Number 6 is the Broncos. Number 7 is the Patriots. Mike, out of the playoffs right now, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Texans, the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans, and the Jets. So those top few names, the Chiefs, the Bengals, Texans, and Ravens, are 4 teams that you'd certainly be expecting to be playing well early. That's not the case. And then over in the NFC, Mike, this is what it looked. And again, we'd be hosting the Broncos this week if the playoffs did start today, which it's not. Then over in the NFC, this is what it looks like on their tree. The Eagles sitting in the number 1 seed, Mike. The 49ers sitting in the number 2 seed. The Buccaneers sitting where we are. They're the number 3 seed. And the Lions being the 4th division winner, putting them in the 4th spot. I don't know how okay, number 5 would be Green Bay. The playoff started today. And the 6th seed would be Seattle. And the 7th seed would be the Vikings. Mike, listen to this. We played the Vikings. We played Seattle. Those are 2 of their playoff teams. We're going to play the Lions. That's another one of the playoff teams. The Packers are another one of the AFC playoff teams at the moment. And then in the AFC, let's see what we got here. We play the Bills. We play the Colts. They're both teams that are sitting in the playoffs as we speak. The Chargers are sitting in the playoffs as we speak, Mike, and we've already played the Patriots. So about, let me see, 11 of the teams that will be in the playoffs right now are on our schedule. So if we finish up with a good season, guys, I don't see why we can't be included when you're talking about playoff contenders. Yeah. Mike, this kind of season is the perfect season for us to jump in and make some noise.
Exactly. There's not a lot of dominant teams, and we've, like you said, we already played 2 out of the teams that are in the playoffs, or 3.
And we got a bunch more coming.
Yeah, and we fared well against Seattle. But for a couple boneheaded plays here and there, that game was very winnable for the Steelers. Like I said, they just had that vibe of something was off that team that day. I don't know what it was, but every other game they've looked ready to go, and it showed the way they played. So the Steelers should be seen as a team in contention, because right now, man, Buffalo got knocked down a peg. Now they look really beatable to a team that New England's hit or miss.
Mike, Buffalo,
they're going to be good or they're going to be bad.
I don't know when their bye is, but let's just say their bye was this week, and I don't think that is. If we would win against the Browns and Buffalo would be off, we would have the same record as the Buffalo Bills, if that would be the case. Remember last year when we were 10-3, we were only a game out of the number 1 seed until we hit that bump in the road.
Yeah.
4 or 5 straight games. But again, Mike, this is how, again, say what you want about the Steelers. This is how close we are. We went out and made improvements, and if this defense continues to improve, the offensive line continues to improve, I don't see why you can't include the Steelers when you're talking about postseason runs. Mike, these are the teams in the NFC that are not in the playoffs as we speak. At number 8 would be the Commanders. Number 9 would be the Rams at this point seed. Overall, 10 would be the Falcons, 11 Bears, 12 Cowboys, 13 Cardinals, 14 Panthers, 15th team in the NFC is the Saints, and the very worst team in the NFC is the New York Giants. So that is, again, only a third of the way through the season, guys, but this is where it's at, and there's not a lot of people that I think expected us to be where we are at this point in the season. So, again, nothing is bigger than this Cleveland Browns game moving forward. There's nothing that we should be focusing on, nothing that team, nothing that coaching staff, nothing that anybody should be focusing on more than the Cleveland Browns, because if you lose that one, it kind of changes. It changes the way things are going for us, and we want to keep this thing rolling, keep improving, keep getting better. Again, Mike, we could be sitting at 5-1 heading into those two games coming back to Pittsburgh, your Green Bay and Indianapolis. I'm feeling kind of good about that those couple of weeks where usually I'm thinking, these are really good teams. What are we going to do? We win these two, show that we're a solid, consistent football team. I'm feeling good about them too.
Oh, me too. Me too. I like this team. They have the potential to do something here this year. It might not be pretty, but they have enough firepower on offense, and the defense is starting to come around to be the defense we thought it could be. And I what we have in the secondary, as long as the front seven plays their part, that back end is good enough to stop any passing attack in the NFL. Yeah, they'll give up yards, but they're not giving up a lot of touchdowns.
And also, Mike, DK Metcalf is the highest rated wide receiver when targeted, minimum 20 targets, Mike, with a 143.3. He's been doing great things as well. I got to be honest, Mike, I'm feeling good about our Steelers, certainly this week, as it is by default victory Monday for us, because everything went good, everything went bad for everybody else.
Outside of that Seattle game, the team has shown improvement every week. That Seattle game now is looking to be the outlier of the performance you should expect from the Steelers, where after that game, everyone's saying, this is what we're going to look like from here on out. The further we get away from that game, I'm thinking that's the outlier. That's going to be rock bottom for the Steelers this year.
All right, let's jump back on the board, Mike. I think we're starting around third. Let's get to the board. We'll get ready for some trivia, and I'm going to go right here. Right to where Cody said Mark Sanchez was blowing a truck driver in an alleyway. P says Sanchez went full MAGA. Never go full MAGA, especially if your last name is Sanchez. Also, Vegas says Mark went full Karen. Never go full Karen.
Never go full retard.
Jamal says, man, it was Mark Sanchez's fault. He told the Uber driver not to park in a spot and then attempted to jump in his car. So the guy stabbed his dumbass. Jeez, oh man. Tortilla says Dobbs' job was to smile and watch Ben shred your dad's favorite team. But you know what? As I said, the guy he's a rocket scientist. He's very intelligent, and to not have any idea what was going on, I just found that was interesting when that comment was made. P, what's up, dude? Always great seeing P on the board. He says, you think Ben didn't have to be developed? Of course. Of course he did. Everybody has to be developed. But the difference between Ben and, some of these other guys, I think the curve was a lot more in our favor, because developing a Kenny Pickett and developing a Ben, come on, I think they're two different ballparks, to be honest. But no, you have absolutely every quarterback needs to be developed. But how many have we actually developed under this particular coaching staff? You know what I mean? Every one that we've got to develop, nobody really panned out. Can they all be bad? Just like with the Browns, they get the number one quarterback every year. Can they all be bad? You have to kind of look at the big picture, I think. But again, Ben definitely did have to be developed, though. I agree. Sanchez is not. Let's see. Jamal says he's also a backup. Bitch, don't throw interceptions. Duh. Over parking. Okay, Vegas is saying over parking as well for the Mark Sanchez. Tortilla says he was behind Big Ben, Mason, and Rudolph. Didn't have to help either. The help was dropping 4 touchdowns a week. Jamal says he didn't at P. He was 15-1 his rookie season. Mark Malone says Sanchez was trying to steal his lot lizard, Mike.
That's some serious shit right there. You do not. It's the rules of the lot, brother. You see a lizard with a paying customer, you leave him alone.
Cody says Ryan was going to say butt fucks. Butt fuckers. I don't know what I was going to say.
I can't remember because I saw that comment pop up in real time.
Sam threw a pick with 52 seconds left in a tie game. It's Vegas. P says talking trash with the Steelers gang, and then he crashed a motorcycle with no helmet. Ben needed staying alive coach when he was done. Yeah, he did. He got himself in trouble with some ladies down in Georgia. He had the motorcycle incident. But yeah, you're right. As an overall, I think that he definitely needed
a life coach.
Vegas says it went off of a lineman's helmet. Oh yeah, I saw that. P and says also P says, and for F shorten the name. He said Jamal got to shorten the name of the of his name. His show talking trash with the Steeler gang. That's what he's referring to. TT for short. Vegas is suggesting. Somber says, yeah, add the Raiders to the list of teams drafting a quarterback before Steelers. That makes 4 to 7 teams taking a QB before us. And the better we do, the more draft picks we'll have to waste to move up.
Speaking to that, so I went over to Tankathon where they have their mock draft up already. They only have 2 teams above us, or 3 teams above us taking a quarterback right now.
Interesting. Let's see. Vegas says this. Vegas says, how many teams have multiple first-round picks next year? I think Dallas and Cleveland. Not sure about anyone else.
LA Rams. Those are the 3.
Okay. Vegas laughing P with his let's see, Cody, who do you guys take for tonight's game? You know what, doesn't matter. Everybody I took from yesterday lost. That was the worst week ever in the
I took
picks.
KC.
I took KC as well. Jamal says it is too long to type, but no, that's the new show. He says, I'm sticking with it, man. I'm going to stick with it. Let's see, P says, I try at talking. This is our years, which Jamal says. This here, he says, Phyllis still says, hey, 2 dumb Yinzers. A bunch of hard things to understand reading. He says, learn that language because that's what we got for the Super Bowl halftime show. What the F? You know what?
Hola, ¿cómo está?
I got to be honest with you. I don't know. I think it's going to cause trouble. And I'm not going to get into politics here, but I'm just saying this is going to make the Super Bowl more of a spectacle than it is. And I think maybe that's why the NFL is lobbied for this guy, because, again, it's going to draw more eyes. And, again, what we found out with Taylor Swift, it isn't exactly football fans that you're driving to your business. They're just driving more eyes, and maybe that could grow the company. But, again, with everything going on in this country and the unrest, I don't know if this is such a great idea. People are already at each other's throats. I don't know. But, again, I just think that this is going to be interesting. This could be a storyline that is up there with the Super Bowl itself. But, again, I can see problems coming from this, from both sides. So, again, not getting into politics, just personally from what I can see overlooking it, I think that there could certainly be issues. And I think there will be issues because people are crazy right now. And we will see. We will see. We'll see if I'm right.
I may be on the minority here as a football fan.
Yeah.
But I watched the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl. I don't watch it for the silly little commercials whoever's doing a halftime.
There's a whole population of people, a whole demographic of people that was they watched because Taylor Swift was on the TV.
And I want those people to come enjoy what I enjoy.
I don't care what anybody else enjoys.
Football, the more people who watch football, that's better because that's more eyes on the product, more revenue for the league. Now my league's going to stay here. My team's going to make money to get better players. So to come fucking watch it. Come watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I just thought that it could have tactfully been a little different this year, just by things that are going on in our country. But again, we'll see. We'll see if I'm right. I could be wrong. Let's see. Browns are shooting for that number 1 pick.
Right now, they're sitting at number 2.
Jamal says the Browns can have the number 1 pick. We all know that they have no clue what to do with it. Vegas says Bills are on a bye week after they play Atlanta on Monday. All right, cool. Yeah. Cody says if you could have one player back right now, injury-free, Ramsey or Austin, I'd take Ramsey.
Ramsey all day, every day.
Yeah. P says living in Cleveland has to be similar to being born and living in a city the size of an ashtray. I'd take $1 million less a year not to be there. Tortilla says if the Browns take a quarterback again, that would be hilarious. And I'm sure they will. Why wouldn't they, right? It's par for the course for these guys.
The year after they draft 2 guys, they're taking one first round. Unless unless Dylan Gabriel plays well.
Jamal says going to bring that passing yards down, so we are the 4th to last in the NFL. JPJ, you know what? It's gonna be nice to have him back. I would like to have them all back at the same time. Our 3-headed monster, but it's not working out that way. So I'm gonna be happy with JPJ, and I can't wait to get Ramsey back.
260 a game we're giving up. Not pretty.
Caleb said, what passing?
Yeah,
260.
260.
That's not bad.
We're giving up 260. The worst in the league is Dallas at 284. In the only
again, like a quarterback, generally, a good quarterback can throw for 300 yards. To only be giving up 260 in passing, I mean, that's historically that's kind of a good number.
Yeah.
I don't think that's high.
But it's 30th in the NFL. It's terrible.
What it is, what it is. I just again,
I know, but hey,
it's not a lot of. It's not a lot of passing yards.
Yeah,
I mean that's that's an average day in the NFL. I would think, give or take. Again, I don't think it's that much. Cody says Caleb Johnson lost that game for us. I mean, we would have still lost by, I refuse to put Caleb Johnson as the GOAT or, as the reason for that. But I have other problems with him. You know what I mean? We lost that game by 14. That was only 7 points. We still lose by a touchdown. Had, that been the case, I think his slow development is what's really bothering me. It was a dumb play. It was a rookie mistake, and it happens. And again, I'm not going to hold that against him. But again, Mike, there's other things that I would like to see from Caleb that I'm not seeing that concern me more than that. It's probably never going to happen again with what happened to him in the end zone on that play.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson. It's a hard one to learn. And again, the defense let up 24 points or 31, whatever it was. So again, Mike, let's see. We do got to move on though, man. I didn't realize the time. Let's see what we got going here. All right, here we go. Jamal says, man, Seattle was kicking our ass. That's what I'm saying. They lost that game. They beat us. Seattle beat us. 34-17, 31-17. Tortilla says that Cody. Yeah, we had a chance until that happened. It was the momentum changer. I give him that. It didn't lose us the game, but it was certainly a momentum changer. Tortilla says, yeah, we had a chance until that happened. Vegas, I like that quick pass down the seam to DK. Aaron is going to throw that every time it's there. Too easy. I'd love to see more of that. That's how Tom Brady was successful for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is, come on. I mean, go back and watch his games. That's the play right there. Game after game, week after week. They made it happen with that, and it was wonderful to see if you're a Patriots fan. Vegas also says liquid courage will make you do some dumb things. Cody says 2-glove Pickett. That was one of your things, Mike. You always like calling him two-glove Pickett or something like that, didn't you?
Oh God,
Pickett 2 gloves.
Kenny 2 or no, it was Kenny 2 yards or Kenny 12 yards because he had 12 yards in that ACC championship game that Pitt.
But he also was a finalist for the Heisman as well. So a lot of good things done by Mr. Pickett, just not in our favor.
No.
Let's see, Mark Malone. We just got to get the offense going with consistency. And you know what? It's getting there. It's more consistent than we've seen in the past 5 years, Mike.
It has been. It's getting every week. It's gotten better. And like I said, from that Seattle game forward, everything has gotten better for this team, and offense included.
Cody says, butt fuckers Buccaneers. He also says, I hope Tennessee takes last. We can trade with them. Tortilla, refs won't let the Chiefs lose tonight. Let's see. Did you say Bad Bunny was a man? I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't even know what a Bad Bunny is. From what I'm reading, it just seems like it's kind of going right along with other things that are going on in the country. I don't care who plays. I'm going to be honest with you. If it's Bad Bunny, if it's whoever, it just seems like this is going to lead to something a lot bigger. Again, politically, but I don't care. I'm just saying, watch. Let's just see. Let's just see if this makes things go crazy in this country. But I know nothing. I know nothing about Bad Bunny. Let me see. I see. Okay, Scott says, watching these quarterbacks in college this year, I would roll with Will Howard, draft a receiver, draft another lineman, and draft a quarterback later in the draft. Jamal says Bad Bunny is a man, like PR or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trusting this whole thing. Again, I have nothing bad to say about Bad Bunny. I don't know to judge. From what I'm saying, I could kind of see a disaster coming that we don't need. Cody says, I haven't watched the halftime show since I was 9. And I think Cody and Mike, you hit that earlier. I'm not really into the halftime show either. That's usually when I'm
not at all.
re-upping my wings and my beer and
Yeah,
peeing and all that stuff.
I'm talking to a football fan about the game of like,
Yeah.
especially if my team's in, what the fuck do we need to do to get back into it? My team's not in the game. Like, oh, I can't believe so and so's playing this bad. Man, this guy's on his way to be MVP. That's what I'm doing as a football fan at halftime.
Tortilla says the Super Bowl halftime show is mainly for overseas audiences. He's a huge overseas artist, and NFL wants teams overseas. I usually miss the halftime show doing drugs anyway. Tortilla says, "Hey man, I feel you, bro." Jamal says, "Damn, what's going on in the country now? It's always something. Got to stop watching that." You're right. I know. Phyllis Steele says, "No, it's not about music anymore. All music." Mark Malone says we should rename the Giants and the Houston Texans to the New York Jews and the Houston Islamists. You know what? It's probably going to be the next step. Who knows? Unfortunately, Vegas says Bad Bunny was named the halftime show, and MAGA declared they were never watching the NFL ever again for the 5th time since Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Jamal says, "Oh man, a lot of shit is coming out about the demonic, the NFL industry." I know. Where's Corey at? Corey is usually the one with the conspiracy theories. We could have certainly asked him some questions today. Cody says halftime and commercials are for the women. They need something since they get ignored all day. And man, that's what I'm saying. It's the same crowd that's going to love the fact that Taylor Swift was in there. I'm sure they're going to love the halftime show. And you know what? We'll get back to football when it's all over. P says that broad didn't know Puerto Rico was an American territory. Stay motivated in the makeup has lead in it. Vegas says, Phyllis still says Vegas, the halftime show is about music and different genres, rock and roll, country, soul, hip hop, but not political bullcrap. Tortilla says, dude, imagine Trump at the halftime show. I'm sure it would be the best halftime show ever. There's never been another halftime show like it. It would be the absolute
huge.
best.
It was big league.
It's huge. Never been bigger. Jamal says that's too funny. I bet the Browns still draft the QB. Cody says at halftime, I'm outside shotgunning a beer and smoking a cigar. Jamal says I'm doing that during the game. I'll probably be asleep by halftime if we're not playing.
Well, the amount of blunts you smoke, brother, hell yeah.
I know. I don't think Jamal ever stops.
That maintains a baseline.
Cody says we're down by 3. He made it down by 10. We kicked a field goal, down by 7. They scored a touchdown. We were in it. Phil still says, I'm watching the Super Bowl halftime show. He says he's down, man. I think that's is that this year's? I don't know my Roman numerals all that well. Is that this year's halftime show he's talking about?
I have no idea.
Jamal said, yeah, I met a lot of stupid people, talked to a few Mexican friends that didn't know Mexico was in North America. Cody says, we appreciate that, my friend. Always great to see all you guys. Tortilla says, used to call him Kenny Franchise. Now I call him Kenny French Fries.
Oh,
Vegas says, Feel the Steel right now. Tell that to the folks that are mad. Cody says, Bad Bunny and Mark Sanchez were in an alley. Mad Bunny. Tortilla is saying Mad Bunny. P says, Tortilla may be mad for being a tortilla, for being torta.
For torta.
Always great. We appreciate that from Jamal as well. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that, brother. Phil still says, yeah, right, Vanelli, you were there front seat when Justin exposed Janet's titty. You know what? I love Justin exposing Janet's titty. That was one of my favorite.
I didn't even know what happened.
Besides for that, I like the Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent. That was my favorite halftime show.
I think that's the only one I've watched in recent memory.
And then this Janet's titty was my second favorite.
I didn't even see that one. I had to go back online and find grainy footage of that one.
And we do thank you, Jamal. Yes, he did. He certainly was promoting us on his show, and I thank you greatly. And I did catch that, and I do want to say thank you, my brother. Cody says, me and A-Rod take rips out of the bag into the restroom. Tortilla says, I don't know Spanish, though. Yeah, my Spanish is pretty bad also. Jamal says, laugh my ass off, Cody, on that. Does Scott Atkins, I look forward to seeing the Steelers get out to leads and playing physical behind that on both sides of the ball. Sometimes you have to throw to open up a game. I'm just hoping, listen, I say over these next couple of games, I would love to see a game that we're satisfied on all three facets of the game. If we could see the offense play where we're satisfied, the defense playing where we're satisfied, and the special teams having a solid day, I think if we could do that over the next couple of games and win these two Ohio games, I'm feeling real good, guys, heading against Green Bay and Indianapolis at home. Again, Green Bay, they lost to Cleveland, guys. That's something. Man, I love Trump. LOL, dude's entertaining. This was Jamal. Vegas says you're never actually high if you always stay high, right?
He's not wrong.
Phyllis still says Super Bowl 27 halftime show. Okay, I didn't think that was the Roman numerals were adding up. The titty Super Bowl. Everybody's favorite was the titty Super Bowl. P. Morton says Trump is entertaining, but Mexicans aren't the smartest. Oh, geez, you guys.
What the fuck's going on now?
Tortilla says at Vegas. That's what I saw. That's what I say to my boss. Vegas says you're elevated, not high, acting a fool, unable to do your job. Mike, we still have a trivia to get into, guys. Don't leave anywhere. We are at the segment, Mike. Why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinzers.com. Head on there, everyone. We got the merch store. We got the all the links to our social media, and we got what else we got? Oh, we got Vanilla Thunder's Dumb Thoughts. Check it out at the2dumbyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of good stuff over there. www.the2dumbyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinzers.com. Guys, it is time for the trivia question of the day. And then here on the show during football season, it's always, how well do you know your enemies? How well do you know your opponents? And this week's opponent, of course, is the Cleveland Browns. Guys, put on your thinking caps. Mike, here we go. Question of the day, Cleveland Browns style. Here we go. The Cleveland Browns' official mascot is not a dog, believe it or not.
Nope.
Their official mascot is that dumb elf. Question of the day, guys. What is that elf's name? What is that elf's name? I'm pretty sure we do this one every year
Yes, we
before
do.
we play them, Mike. So take a minute to think about that, guys. Again, the Cleveland Browns' official mascot is not a dog. Believe it or not, their official mascot is that dumb elf. What is the elf's name is the question of the day. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day right here on the tube.
On the tube.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to catch up on a couple of these messages, and we're going to get into this, see what people were saying as far as the question of the day. And let me start right here. Now, you know what? I'm going to wait. We'll wait. I'm come back to these in a second. Mike, the Cleveland Browns' official mascot is not a dog. Believe it or not, their official mascot is that dumb elf. What is his name? I'm seeing Pooper on the board by Phil. I'm seeing Derpy's mom by Tortilla. I'm seeing Peaches by Phil. Guys, so there's... I don't know if anybody really knows. I'm seeing facetious answers. But, Mike, do you have any guesses?
You know what's funny?
Keebler.
I was
saying
scroll-
Keebler.
I was on the Twitter before the show, and I saw that stupid elf.
Yeah,
and they
it's
had his
Turd.
name in
Somber
there.
saying it's Turd.
I'm going to go with Gordy.
Gordy? You
Gordy.
just look like a Gordy to you, huh? All right. So that's your final pick. That's your
Final answer.
Somber saying Turd McGurk.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lock you in on Gordy. Correct? Gordy.
Gordy.
Okay. Question of the day, guys. How well do you know your opponent? How well do you know your enemy? Question is this. The Cleveland Browns' official mascot is not a dog. Believe it or not, their official mascot is that dumb elf. What is his name? Mike says Gordy. I'm seeing a bunch of answers on the board. Vegas is probably Liam or something stupid. Guys, that dumb elf that's in the middle of their field that nobody even understands why is their mascot, why it's not a dog, why whatever. Guys, the name of that dumb elf, his name is Brownie. Brownie is the correct answer. So there you go. Let me grab some more messages here, Mike. Cody saying asking Joe Biden's questions during halftime would be cold. I agree. I would love it. Just asking him, normal everyday questions, see what the hell comes out of his face. Stupid Joe halftime show. Phil the Steel Piece says, if you depend on a Mexican to save your life, they're probably going to let you die. Oh man, Jamal says, "Dude, Biden is 119. He'd get 2 words out during the entire halftime show." A couple of these guesses: Mike Pooper, Derpy's mom, Joe Biden. Aaron says, "You know what? Who even cares about the Browns?" Very good point.
Exactly.
Jamal says Keebler. Somber said it's a turd. P says Biden was moving packs. Trump is robbing as fast as possible. Turd McGirt by Somber. Let's see. Shit show. Aaron Jade. How original. Hey, yeah, brownies. How original is that? Any surprise though? The whole city thought of that one. Vegas is saying the name of the elf. Is their river still on fire? Who knows what the hell's going on if their football team's on fire? I know that literally burning down as we speak. Shit show, Mike. They will be in the basement. You know what? Even Cincinnati, I think that Cincinnati could fall further than them, just because Cleveland's trying and they're actually kind of playing up. Where Cincinnati, they were supposed to be better, so they're down. You know what I'm saying? So I could see Cincinnati falling below Cleveland this year.
Yeah. At least Cleveland has a competent defense.
Yeah.
And their rookies are playing well, whereas outside of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, what does Cincinnati have? Nothing. They didn't do anything to try and fix their O-line or their defense. They put all their eggs on 3 guys and a quarterback who gets hurt every other season. So, yeah, Cincinnati is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Let's see a couple more Bad Bunny raps, just like Biden at Ryan. That who he is, since you don't know. I'll definitely look up. I'll watch a Big Bunny, Dub Bunny. What is it? Bad Bunny. I'll watch a Bad Bunny video before February. I promise. Tortilla says Peach's halftime show would go. Dude, a Peach's halftime show is what I'm talking about.
I don't know if we can air that though, brother. I don't think the FCC will allow it.
Yeah, she's a little wild. Christopher's my man. Great seeing you on the board. Always great seeing Christopher. He says, who do you think Tomlin will bring back from IR this week? Mike, you kind of started to bring that up briefly. Will Howard?
Isn't Corey Trice on the IR?
I don't know if he's on the IR.
Oh, God, hold on, I'm pulling it up real quick for us. I cannot remember who's on the IR at the top of my head. I'm sorry. Of course, it does not give me that.
All right.
Of course. I'm trying to look it up, and it's not there.
Well, you can continue to look. There's nothing stopping you. Continue to look.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot stopping.
Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, 3-1. Cincinnati, 2-3. Browns and Ravens, both 1-4. Guys, so heading into week 6, the Steelers are in good shape. This is, of course, Victory Monday. Here on the show, we thank everybody for coming by today. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. And if you're at home watching, listening with your earbuds, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're in the car, we want to thank you too. Go ahead, Mike.
I finally got their IR. I think the only one would be Will Howard. I think he would be the one that comes on.
That's what I was thinking too, Chris.
Yeah, because I for some reason I thought Corey Trice was on, but he's designated for return, so he'll definitely be back, and then maybe Will Howard the week after.
Dude, P says, even though I live in Japan, I really miss fat white chicks that eat too much cheese and have high cholesterol. You just mentioned told the whole story of Mike's life right in one message. Vegas says Joe Burrow will sign with the Steelers in 9 years. Yeah, maybe that would be par for the course. Vegas says Joe. Okay, Somber says Alex Highsmith is back at practice and hopes to play this week. We'll go to the doctor's plans before making a definitive declaration. And Calvin Austin III gave no update on the shoulder. What I got, Somber, was this. They're expecting Joey Porter Jr., Alex Highsmith, and Jaylen Warren to play this week. That is what they're expecting. They are not expecting Jalen Ramsey and Calvin Austin III, even though Jalen.
Lost your audio, Ryan. Don't know what happened there. I do know I can't hear you. I don't know if it was on my end or not, but I cannot hear you at all. So yeah, someone's muted. And Jamal, Skylar Thompson was injured before he got jumped. He was already on the IR. I still cannot hear you, Ryan. Don't know what happened there, brother. Man, we were doing. I think Tortilla. I think you're right. I think Rooney did mute us. I don't know what happened there with Ryan. No sound, brother. Wrap it up. All right, guys. Yes, Derpy did chew the wire. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Don't know what happened on Drying End. I know he thanks you all as well. Just be sure, hey man, check us out on all of our social medias. You know where to find us on Twitter, on Facebook, the2dumbyinjers.com. We're over on Insta. We're on Threads. We're everywhere you need your Two Dumb Yinzers take. Go follow us there. We will see everyone tomorrow. the flux capacitor has fucked us over. All right, Sommer, take it easy. Guys, take it easy. We love you all. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the other side, boys. Take care from the Two Dumb Yinzers, man. Deuces.